you live from the frigid armpit of America. This is the Drunken Peasants podcast with Ben and TJ, bringing you opinions of the news from an altered perspective.
Say, man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man. It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
And now, here are your hosts, Ben and TJ.
And Scotty.
The sober noble, Scotty.
People are always like, why don't you mention Scotty in the intro?
Yeah.
You guys are assholes.
You guys are kind of dicks.
Well, Scotty wasn't supposed to be into it, but he just inserted himself.
I think after he was stranded.
Often people find themselves in that situation with Scotty.
Yeah.
Well, you know, these things happen.
You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Hey, what the hell?
Who is that?
Who the fuck is that?
Sorry. Shh. It's a ghost.
Who is this the ghost of?
Christmas past.
What did I do?
You're going to hell, man.
Damn, aren't you supposed to be here to redeem me or something? The ghost just came to taunt me, like, hey man, you going to hell, bitch.
You're screwed. You're screwed.
There's nothing you can
God's
do.
real and you're going to hell.
Pretty much.
JaclynGlenn, everybody.
Yeah.
I guess
Yay!
Yeah.
we were going to announce her, but she announced herself.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
No, you're a rebel. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, Rebel. That's
The
that's
rebel
point.
dollar. That's a big dollar. You got to go after that rebel market. Yeah.
Okay.
The chat room is filled with very stupid comments already. I am Satan. And you
Don't call our chat room stupid. They're developing psyches out there in
They're
the
developing.
universe.
Yeah.
Wait.
They'll find their
people-
way. They'll find
People
their
leave
way.
stupid YouTube comments? I don't understand.
Look, you have to just look at their stupidity as another phase in their development towards something better.
Maybe or maybe not.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself to not fucking just like blow my brains out, I guess.
Okay, then yes, they'll get better. They'll get smarter.
There's gonna get so
yeah,
much
TJ,
better.
It gets better, man. It gets better.
Don't worry, amazing atheist. It gets better. People get smarter. Not really, but just tell yourself that to keep on going. All right, so let's get to a news story.
You want me to play one? All
Yeah.
right.
Why not? Jump right in, right, Jaclyn?
Jump right in.
Yeah.
Amanda Knox's verdict has just been read. Guilty here. Guilty. Erin McLaughlin is joining me now from Italy. And just to remind everyone, she had been acquitted of this murder conviction a couple of years ago, and then the Supreme Court there in Italy decided they needed to take it up yet again. And so guilty there where you are in Florence.
Yeah, so, TJ, what's your take on this? You were talking about it yesterday.
Well, it's just kind of strange. I mean, the details of the case. I mean, I don't think this would be a murder trial in America. It seems like Italy must have a lot more lackadaisical standards for what
and
constitutes.
if you guys are wondering, this is the Amanda Knox trial.
Beyond reasonable doubt. Well, I mean, they said it in the beginning of the clip.
I just wanted to
Maybe
make
not
sure.
everyone caught that.
Yeah. I just wanna make sure.
But basically, the summary of the news story is Amanda Knox found guilty of a murder she'd already been acquitted for, that she'd already been found guilty for before her acquittal. I mean, this is what kind of a legal system is this? I mean, the legal system of America is definitely not some like crown gem that we should all look at and be like, wow, this is amazing. But man, I think we can at least, like, you know how, like, no matter what defect you have, you can always find someone worse. Like how I'm kind of fat, so if I see someone that's 600 pounds, I might be like, hey, at least I'm not 600 pounds.
You have to explain the learning channel.
Okay, but but I mean, like, I guess that we as a country with our shitty legal system can look at Italy and be like, hey, well, that's our 600-pound man right over there. What do you think, Jaclyn?
Is she there?
Is she gone?
Oh, sorry. I had myself on mute. I was talking, and then
it's
I
okay.
realized I still had it on mute.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's ridiculous that she was, let go, and then now they're doing this again to her. I feel really bad. But, I mean, if she did it, then She deserves it, but if not, then that sucks major balls.
I'm not going to say that the girl is innocent because I don't really know.
Yeah.
I just feel like the evidence is insufficient to really give me, beyond a reasonable doubt, a picture of her guilt.
Yeah, I didn't sit there in the courtroom, so I don't really know all the evidence or everything, but I just, it strikes me strange how they can do the double jeopardy thing there. But I guess it's just a different culture, so that's just why
was
it's
it an
strange to me.
ongoing process? I mean, that's the thing that's not clear. Is like, do they have this like limitless appeals in Italy? We just don't know what the legal system is to really make a determination.
Hey Ben.
Yeah.
I kind of noticed that there was actually like a difference there in opinion. Like you kind of backed it away from my stance of like, I'm just basically mocking them. Like they have a shitty legal system, haha.
Yeah.
You're kind of saying, well, I wasn't there, and I don't know, and this is different culture, and I mean, other cultures might seem strange to me, but
Yeah.
whatever. So maybe we should have like an impassioned argument about it right now. Just like
Fuck you, TJ. You're wrong. That's the
Fucking
end.
idiot.
Fuck
Shut up,
you,
TJ.
Ben. You're a sack of fucking shit if you don't fucking come away to my way of viewing this issue right now.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay, I give up. You're
Okay,
right.
yeah. That's better. Okay, sorry, Jaclyn.
It's all good.
Feel free to jump right in. Just, even if it's just insane, just say whatever crazy shit comes to mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it's kind of a funny story. My grandma's Italian, so she actually was talking about it the other day whenever I called back home, which I hardly ever do. One day that I did, my grandma was there. I was like, I can't believe this shit. She cusses like a sailor. It's kind of funny for a 90-year-old woman. But, yeah, she's all about Italy. Italy's right no matter what they do. So I think it just, like, it depends on, like you guys are talking about the culture and stuff of the place. I just think that people there are just they don't give a shit. They're like, hey, this is fucking Italy. We're the best. It doesn't matter. So
that's kind of how people are in America too, though.
Yeah, it is.
It's
so,
like, hey,
everybody's.
This is our country, so whatever fuck-ups it has, that's like part of its charm and greatness.
Yeah, I went to Italy about a year and a half ago, and I went to Florence and Rome and Venice, but I just went there as a tourist. I didn't really get to experience much of the culture, in a way more than a tourist would, for sure.
I just hate the way we always have to back down from talking about other cultures, like we're not allowed to judge because it's part of their culture. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, I just feel like it makes any sort of ethical progress on this planet impossible. And I think that the way that our economies are all interlocked now, we can no longer afford to have this insular viewpoint that everyone's culture is just sacrosanct and beyond reproach.
It's almost worse though to insult your own culture in your own country, because anytime I ever say anything about America that's criticizing it, which I do all the time, people are like, "You're not patriotic."
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you insult spending more on military? How dare you insult our troops by not supporting, certain wars? It's just like you can't win. So if you insult other countries, you're an asshole, and sometimes people call you racist. Or and if you insult your own country, then you're an unpatriotic asshole who's not appreciative of what you have. So it's like lose-lose.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. It's like no matter what, there's always someone in this country to tell you what you're not allowed to be critical of, no matter what it is. If you're critical of anything or anyone, you make any sort of argument against any sort of practice in your society, there's always going to be this huge backlash. There's never let's have a conversation, because no one wants to change their mind. It's like just having your mind changed is like the scariest possibility to most people.
You need to shut up, you goddamn hippie.
Yeah.
You need to shut your mouth, eat some freedom fries.
Yeah.
I thought this was America.
Yeah. Yeah, I've read some of the crazy videos you've made about Facebook comments, especially when Obama got reelected. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've definitely seen it out there for sure. Hey, I got a question for you that I've always wondered. Did Rush Limbaugh ever contact you to help pay for your sex?
No.
No?
I really wanted to get him to try to contact me in some way, but he never did.
Oh.
But maybe if I did it again, he would respond. But back then, he didn't give a shit.
I'm out of the loop here. What's going on?
She made a video asking Rush Limbaugh to help pay for her sex. because
Yeah.
Explain, Jaclyn.
Well, he was making sexist comments about birth control and saying women who want, free birth control or at least cheaper birth control are pretty much asking taxpayers to pay for them to go out and have a bunch of sex, which I thought was ridiculous. So I made a video asking him to literally pay for me to have sex, and yeah. I did it like stupid, like I was trying to be all sexy, like I had a fan blowing my hair and had it in slow motion, and I was like, Rush Limbaugh, pay for my sex. It was really retarded. It was like back when I first started making videos, so it wasn't really that great of a video. But I wanted to try to get him pissed off at me, but it didn't really work. I don't think he saw it, so whatever.
Poor Rush.
Yeah.
Dude, I think we should all demand Fox News pay for us to have sex.
well,
now.
I've seen Rush
Just based
Limbaugh's
upon that.
I've seen Rush Limbaugh's wife. I think she's like 26, 27 years old, or maybe over 30. But he definitely pays for sex for sure.
Well, that's good. I mean, he pays for OxyContin too.
Yeah. Yeah, we've
At least he did. I
Well,
guess
he's conservative, so he's like either has a bunch of mistresses on the side or he's just secretly gay. It's one or the other.
yeah.
Yeah, or both. My
Yeah.
whole family loves Rush Limbaugh. It's so sad.
How do they love him? Like, are they in love with him?
I mean, I don't know how far it goes, but they love listening to him.
Dude, Steve listens to Rush Radio all the fucking time.
I listen to him just to
Yeah.
listen to it.
Ben
because,
listens to it derisively.
yeah, it's
Okay,
like
yeah. Not my family. My family's like, yeah, what he said. I'm like, great. That's where you
Yeah.
get your information from.
I wonder, do they when they watch it, do they view it as like this is the news?
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the news, and this is a great way to interpret what's going
Obama is
on.
a communist. We all know he's a communist.
Yeah, the way
Yeah.
a lot of those AM radio stations work is they usually have like the local morning people that are conservative, and then they have Rush Limbaugh who's conservative, and then they'll have like an afternoon person who's conservative, and then all night they'll have like Sean Hannity and the rest of them.
I love Sean Hannity. Just kidding.
Han Shannity.
TJ
Han Shannity.
TJ
Yeah, my
wants
family
to have
loves them
sex
too.
with Sean Hannity's hair. Not the rest of him, just his hair.
Yeah, his hair is a living thing
Exactly.
with its own wants and its own needs.
That's what you said the last time too.
I know. That's because I maintain that to be the truth.
All right, man.
Why the truth
All right,
would not
we believe
change.
you. We believe you.
The truth would not change, gentlemen.
Truth would not
For a
change.
while there, we thought we were above talking about Justin Bieber, but apparently we're not.
No.
Infant. Oh.
So we got a few things about Justin Bieber that we're gonna play.
Hey, don't insult him. I made a video about him, and oh my god, I got so many hate comments.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I made videos bashing Islam, and I thought the hate comments for that were bad. Holy shit, whenever you insult Justin Bieber, it's like a whole other story. These little girls just like, you have no idea what he has to go through. It's like, are you kidding me? He's like...
It's like
but like, I mean, he does have to go through a lot recently, but it's just all of his own making. So,
Dude, Justin Bieber should be adopted by the Catholic Church, and he can start the new Children's Crusade. I really believe that.
okay. Yeah, that's a great idea actually.
the Catholic Church should convert Justin Bieber. It's like it will attract. Well, no, because they don't want little girls.
He's from Canada.
The Catholic Church.
You know what? He can probably get little. He can probably hook them up with
them.
little boys too. Like, you're going to be just like Justin. You know what I'm saying?
No one wants to be just like Justin.
Yeah,
unless
they do.
they're just
Justin,
trying to get laid.
Because they think Justin's going to get a bunch of pussy. That's why they
Yeah.
think that.
Justin Bieber sometimes will come on stage with giant angel
Wait,
wings.
Justin Bieber will come on stage?
No, like he will fly. Yeah, okay, come on stage. Maybe, I don't know. But he'll like fly
I
onto
didn't
stage
know
at
the show was so
beginning.
depraved.
Yeah.
And he has like these giant angel wings made out of like musical instruments that he'll make this giant entrance with. So maybe if the Catholic Church adopts him, he can be released into the air and attacked.
I think he's literally trying to be like,
God.
I am a fucking angel of the Lord and you will obey me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the crack-smoking mayor. This is a story about the crack-smoking mayor of Toronto coming to Justin Bieber's defense. And it's a Fox News story, so it's great.
Wait, coming? Did you say coming?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I was pulling a teeth.
Casey. All right, now to the Bieber story. We found out, America's Bieber was up in his native Canada, and while he
What the fuck? was
I
that?
know.
He was in Canada, eh?
Is he really that ignorant?
They
like
made
that?
him. He read it like a line he was made to say at gunpoint.
Dude, conservatives hate Canada. They're really scared of it. They're just like, what goes on up there? I don't really know.
Yeah.
some kind of satanic witchcraft orgy.
Oh, goddamn, I think we need to move.
Then they start wiping the sweat from their brow profusely. Oh, God. So
Faces charges
convicted.
down in Miami and charges up in Toronto. But I guess he decided to go to the Super Bowl, so he chartered a jet, and that we get the word from TMZ that his father's there, some of his buddies are there, and they're flying from Toronto to New Jersey, to Teterboro Airport, where they're going to land this private jet, and apparently that happened. And then now we get word from the New York Post. Look at this. It's here. Post, nope. Here we go.
He doesn't
The
know
New
how to
York
use his
Post. This is
computer.
the cover of page 6 right now from the New York Post at NewYorkPost.com. Justin Bieber's jet stopped for pot. Now, when I first read that, I'm thinking maybe Bieber landed somewhere in I don't know, New Hampshire to pick up some weed.
At least he calls it weed.
Yeah, he didn't say pot
It's pot.
In almost
guys.
every newscast, they say pan. I mean pot.
or dope.
The dope.
Yeah.
That's the old women.
Don't
like,
smoke the dope.
it's mostly the old women that say that. The dope.
The dope. It's always the
You
dope.
kids are going to smoke the dope now.
So did you know about this, Jaclyn, that Justin Bieber got in trouble again? Like someone has it out for him or
Yeah,
something?
poor Justin. He has to go through so much.
Yeah.
He's a traumatized little fuck.
Apparently his private plane smelled like weed, so they made him land in New Jersey.
If I had
So-
in all fairness to Justin, if I had a private plane, it would probably smell similarly. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I agree.
But that is apparently not what this headline at the New York Post means. What this means is they landed at Teterboro, and when they opened the doors, it was some sort of Cheech and Chong kind of thing, apparently. Because either
Cheech
they
and
have
Chong.
lots of weed in
Not
there,
even
and
a
you can
relevant reference, really.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on, Cheech and Chong are
No, I'm
eternally relevant as a
I'm just
reference.
saying, like, that's probably the only, like, stoner reference he even knows.
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of like, hey, welcome to fucking, 30 years ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they have to reference something that their, geriatric audience recognizes.
They're smoking. They're like the Chich and the Chong. Off there smoking their wacky tobacco.
Hey, would you guys want your cab driver smoking weed?
Oh, we talked about that the other day.
Hell yeah,
my
as long as he's
God.
passing it back.
That's a good reply.
Oh my
smell
god.
the green weed, or they were smoking pot on the plane, and you could smell that. It's one of the two, according to the reporting of the New York Post. So they've held Justin Bieber's private charter jet right there on the tarmac at the Teterboro, and the drug dogs are going to come out there and sniff around. Now, the Post reports it's not clear whether Bieber's on board, but TMZ earlier reported that he chartered the jet. He was going to the Super Bowl. We got word from Toronto that he was on it and that he left. So unless they dropped him off in, again, New Hampshire, probably Nashville or something, this is but the latest legal problem for him, at least. Now a fellow Canadian is coming to his defense, none other than Toronto's own crack-smoking mayor, Rob Ford. Birds of a feather.
Oh my God.
That's too hilarious.
Yeah. I can't really defend Bieber, but it's just funny the way this guy reads this news story. I don't even think he has any interest in it at all.
Why would grown reasonably intelligent people who are professional newscasters want to report shit like this?
Yeah, because this guy's an anchor man. He's not like a Sean Hannity,
He probably doesn't want to report on it. He probably has to.
Yeah,
I know, that's what I'm saying. I mean, obviously he has no
Dude,
desire to do this.
I think
That's how I
the
feel.
CIA and TMZ are about one and the same.
Yeah, we don't really want to do this either, but we just know when we do it, we'll get views. I mean, that's probably that's the same reason these networks do it. It's just like, hey,
Yep.
you'll be rewarded handsomely for talking about this because no matter how much the audience says they're not interested, they are.
They are.
Yeah. Yeah, so the crack-smoking mayor is about to defend Justin Bieber here.
By the way, he's a councilman. Here's a councilman tickling the mayor at City Hall yesterday.
Oh, it's too bad. I wish I had that picture.
Oh, come on.
It's probably that belly. I don't know. He's a jolly old elf, isn't he? He denies that he tickled the mayor and claims it was.
Let the man get tickled without fucking making a goddamn
It's funny that Fox
spectacle
News
of
is
it,
making
man.
fun of this guy because in Canada he's a conservative.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. He's definitely a big cartoon character. He's almost like having Chris Farley as
that's
your mayor,
true.
I want
doing coke and stuff like that too.
I want him as my mayor.
I don't move to Toronto.
I don't care if the city falls apart. I just know that Chris Farley is the mayor. I want to be there. Sound like lyrics to a punk song.
Sing it.
Oh, go ahead, Jaclyn.
No, I want him to sing it. It sounds like a punk song. I think you should just break out into song at this point. Go.
No, I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Yeah. Sorry, short-term memory has been...
Damn it.
Yeah.
That could have been good.
So you made a bunch of atheist Christmas songs recently, correct?
Yeah, I did kind of. I mean, I just took like already popular Christmas songs and changed a few words to make them offensive.
Yeah? Yeah, I saw those. Did you have experience singing before? Because it seems like you're a pretty decent singer.
No, I don't. My dad's side is very musical. Like my dad does, he plays piano and sings, you know, for different artists and stuff. So it's kind of my dad's side of the family is very musical, but I've never done anything with it because I've always been kind of shy, which is retarded coming from a YouTuber. But it's easy to be behind a camera. On stage, no, I could never do that shit. So yeah, I don't know. I just kind of grew up doing it for fun and decided to try to make it into a silly YouTube video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll move on from Justin Bieber because it's just like, oh.
What? Well, I just want to keep talking about that all night.
Baby. This needs to be the Justin Bieber show. Coming up on Justin Bieber Update.
Yeah.
What did he do now? Justin Bieber pissed on a fucking child, a little defenseless baby in a carriage.
And
Justin Bieber,
and then stole his
drunk
candy.
and on PCP, walked up to the child and began to urinate. The child drowned in Justin Bieber's urine, and he is now being charged for murder. All of the Justin Bieber fangirls are saying that he's misunderstood, and they don't know what he's been through.
He's innocent.
Hashtag piss on children for Bieber.
Wow.
The epidemic.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that Zach Galifianakis Between Two Ferns show with Justin Bieber on it?
Because it was the actual Justin Bieber, I couldn't bring myself to watch.
It's pretty funny. My favorite part of it is like, he's like, so you've had 3 hairstyles. What's next in your career?
Yeah, that one hairstyle that he had at first where it looked like his hair kind of like swirled around his head. I could not stand that one. That one was pretty...
If only they'd been poisonous ferns and just killed Justin Bieber.
He gets up at one point and like starts hitting him, which is funny, so it's worth watching.
Wow. Yeah, so this is a video that I found. It's another Fox News story, and they're gonna deny the existence of climate change in it. Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Patty Ann Brown with today's Bias Bash, and the topic today, global warming, or should we say cooling, or should we just go with climate change? Well, Jim Pinkerton has some ideas on that. He is a contributing editor and writer of American Conservative Magazine, and of course, a Fox News contributor. Hi, Jim.
Thanks, Patty Ann. Maybe we should just call global warming or climate change that which the media and the liberal left doesn't like. And anything that they don't like, they can simply say we're opposed to that, and we must issue an executive order to eliminate it. I mean, here on Bias Bash, we cover lots of different kinds of media bias, but oftentimes it's something liberal.
So they're saying that they cover media bias, liberal media bias. So this is the liberal media bias about climate change, basically.
And that's certainly the case here. But it's also another kind of bias bash, which is sort of inclusion versus
What's wrong with them?
And on that score, of course, thinking that there's something that the weather might be getting colder as opposed to warmer is an unacceptable opinion. The president, on his speech, the State of the Union speech, of course, said climate change. Again, they say climate change now, but what they really mean is global warming. Is a fact, and that's that. And it was quite interesting to see CNS News.
The reason that it's not called global warming is because that was really never a good name to begin with to describe what's actually there. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes names are not chosen very carefully. I mean, so... you can't just say, like, oh, they rebranded it, therefore there must be something going on here.
Yeah, it's actually cooling.
I mean, it's not cooling because it's hot.
That's what they say.
It's hotter they're having one of the hottest summers in Australia.
Yeah. they use the
Yeah,
fact
but there's all them snowstorms and whatnot, so it's real cold outside. So
Yeah,
there
it's the
ain't no
cold.
way.
We're having the coldest winter and the hottest summer on record at the same time, and people don't think there's something going on with the fucking climate.
There's nothing suspect in that at all.
That's just fine. No, don't worry. Go about your jobs, slaves. It's all good. You're fine.
Yes, master.
It's fine.
Yes, master.
We are fine. Everything is good. ExxonMobil is our friends. Fracking is good. It's the way of the future.
Way of the future.
Yeah, we have earthquakes in Ohio now, and we didn't used to have them before fracking was on such a large scale.
Yeah.
And there's really no huge fault line or anything here.
No, we're having, but earthquakes. No, there's always been earthquakes like that here. It's just you just never noticed them before.
And the fracking, I think it probably makes the water cleaner. So I mean.
Oh man.
Yeah, that crystal clear black water. So good. So
I always
tasty.
wanted water that I could also use as like rubbing alcohol or.
Yeah.
Really, like,
purpose.
we got bottled water now. I mean, why not have something useful come out on tap? Like,
Yeah, methane or
Yeah.
natural gas. Yeah.
They can just put some like flavors in that, and we can drink it and get fucked up.
Like
sounds-
Fish will be
moonshine.
fine.
Yeah, the fish will learn to adapt.
Yeah.
You motherfucking liberals are always talking about evolution. They'll evolve. Quit crying.
We'll evolve to be able
I
to.
think I
drink
just
that shit.
transcended reality and went into Glenn Beck's mind for a
We'll
second.
evolve into monkeys, TJ.
Another family favorite. Glenn Beck.
Yeah, Glenn Beck. He would always sell the commercials on his show would always be like survivalist stuff. You could buy like dehydrated food and dehydrated
and
water
gold.
for Armageddon.
Yeah.
I have an uncle in Illinois who has a shed full of that shit. He's got that and like a bunch of shotguns, and he is just, the end times are coming, and they're coming now, and we've got to be prepared. Yeah, so.
Damn, Jaclyn, you're like a fucking like singular gem of awesomeness in like a really shitty fucking family.
And all kinds of
It sounds like to me.
conservatives. Wow.
Yeah, I mean.
I understand you're not going to like sit there and call your family shitty, but I mean, whatever.
So how did a lot of your family take the fact that you became an atheist? Because obviously you can't really hide it at this point.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not hiding it anymore. I did it first for a little bit. They don't like it. My mom, on her side, they're Catholic, so they're not as like super religious. Catholics, they just kind of go to church and whatever.
Cafeteria Catholics.
Yeah, so she doesn't like it, but she doesn't really get in my face about it. But my dad's side, he's actually a Christian singer and songwriter, so like their side is very, very, very religious. So they cry when they see me, and they're worried about my
like when you recorded
afterlife.
when you recorded those atheist Christmas carols, was that kind of like a fuck you dad moment?
No, I'm not doing it to spite anyone. I just thought it was funny.
Okay,
like, I don't know.
but like on a Freudian level, yes.
It's all fine. You're all going
Are
to
you
hell anyways.
psychoanalyzing her right now?
Yeah, I am.
How does
Sorry.
that make you feel?
Oops. I've transcended my
How
own
does that
reality
make you
once
feel?
more. Sorry.
It makes me feel so sad. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really care. I mean, I've gotten into it so many times with them, and it's funny because they view my YouTube channel as like forcing my opinion. They call atheism my religion, which
Yeah,
is
I'm sure they never forced their opinion on you.
right. And I'm
Never.
forcing my opinion on the world because of my YouTube channel. I'm like, yeah, but when we are together, I never bring this stuff up. I never try to like convert you to being an
Yeah,
atheist.
it's like, hey,
You know,
I've put my views on this optional to watch channel. You're forcing your shit down our throat. Meanwhile, they're like, convert now or die.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? What kind of
Yeah,
wonky
it's
sense of
horrible.
reality do you people live in?
TJ,
Oh, that's right. You have a magical
Because
man
you're
in
an
the sky
atheist,
that-
and you've brought your religion to so many people on YouTube. You caused the polar vortex.
That's good. Fuck it. I
and then
like the
there's,
cold.
there's always the like, well, deep down, you must know that there really is a God. It's like, when one day you'll change. I know this is just a phase. One day you'll just like the most condescending shit ever. I hate it.
Deep down, you'll know there really is a Zeus. He's up there on Mount Olympus now, looking down on you and
Smiling.
getting fucking pissed off that you don't believe in him. So fucking stop it.
He's smiling.
He's smiling.
Just because he's such a nice guy.
Zeus is just up there, like, with the lightning bolt tucked under his arm, smiling down, like, yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm
Why
Zeus. I'm real as fuck.
Why don't you love Thor? I don't know.
Yeah. Thor's pretty awesome. He has a hammer.
Hammers are cool.
Yeah.
Whoa,
yeah.
now. We can't be mixing
Whoa.
Greek and Norse mythology here. Let's not fucking get
Are we
crazy
either for
on
Norse
this
mythology
show.
or Greek mythology? We
I
have
know.
to choose.
This is fucking... I can't handle this. This is too big of a crossover for me.
All right, then I'll just be a Muslim then. Here we go.
Yeah, maybe Muhammad can get in on there. Hey, he can actually do that pretty good, can't he?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All these people keep commenting. They're like, if you only really looked into the religion, you would be a Muslim. And then they send me all these clips
bullshit
of
alert.
atheists.
Bullshit alert.
The feminist alarm is going off. Holy shit. Wait. Oh, no. I'm now being told that you guys doing that thing. Sky, can you do that for just... Yeah, that actually is cultural appropriation, and you will now be sanctioned. The politically correct police
by the UN
are issuing a massive fine for your transaction.
Okay, and the UN's going to arrest me or something too?
Yeah, the UN is going to write you a very angry letter.
Oh, okay. Well,
No, you're going to be stoned to death. Sorry.
well, these things happen.
No, that's not until we get Sharia law in America.
No.
But
Sorry.
That's probably a ways off. We have this nice. That's one good thing about the crazy intolerant rednecks. They kind of shield us from having to deal with what a lot of European countries are having to deal with.
Wow. The views stated by TJ do not necessarily reflect the views of the Drunken Peasants podcast.
Oops, someone was too accurate. Oh no, a truth we're not supposed to acknowledge.
Yeah.
Ah!
So, do you want me to play something else, TJ?
You have your own free will. You could do what you
Okay.
God gave you free will.
I do have free will.
Oh no, wait, no, I'm sorry. Sam Harris said you don't have free will. Sorry. So,
But if I make the wrong decision with my free will, do I still go to hell?
But you don't have free will.
Okay.
So you're not making a decision. You're just doing whatever the universe is wanting you to do because it's all set in motion and blah blah blah.
Okay.
It's just like a very complex domino effect, and you really have no control or autonomy and individuality and all that shit. That's all illusions.
All right.
Well, right on then.
All right.
There's a story about the NSA using Angry Birds on people's cell phones to spy on people.
Which is actually pretty brilliant.
Yeah, because everybody had Angry Birds
And
on their
Candy
cell phone.
Crush too. That's another good one.
Yeah. People get addicted to that. And it costs money, Candy Crush, which is pretty crazy.
I actually don't play the
And
games.
the NSA knows what you're up to, and a little Angry Bird may be to blame. The agency using cell phone apps to access personal information. Kelly Wright joins us now with what consumers need to know. Kelly?
Heather, good morning. The startling revelation comes from NSA leaker Edward Snowden. It's another leak, and some say another cause for concern. Snowden's latest leak of documents shows how the NSA, along with the Division of Great Britain's Government Communications, can zero in on your location when you're using Google Maps or posting a picture on Facebook and Twitter. Also, when you're playing the popular game Angry Birds on your smartphone, player beware. Big Brother could be watching your every move, gathering knowledge of your age, sex, and other personal information.
It's something that, you wouldn't expect out of a game in your phone, so I don't think it's right.
Electronic devices are feeding each other information. It's just kind of scary how fast your information travels.
The White House defends the NSA, adding the agency is not spying on average Americans, but on people who are potential threats to the country.
Okay.
Potential threats.
Threats to be determined by the government.
Potential. Yeah, who do we know who's a potential
How is
threat?
anyone surprised by this? Your phone is designed for connectivity. There's so many ways for your data to be shared, whether you want it to or not.
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily surprised. I just don't like it,
Yeah.
It could be changed conceivably, and I think it should be. It's not a matter of But
do you not want the government, or do you care about the private companies having your data too? Because they're still going to have it, regardless, unless you stop them from collecting it.
I just feel like there should be more control over who companies share data with, and when you share your data with a company, it should be more. confidential.
So you basically want more like the European Union laws on privacy.
I guess so. I don't know.
Yeah, but the United States is spying on countries in the European Union, so it's like, I guess you'll get spied on by the U.S. no matter where you live.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so how does that work exactly? Like, hey, we're the United States, so we get to spy on the citizens of every country everywhere.
We were spying on their leaders, too.
For potential threats.
Yeah, well, of course I'm not saying we shouldn't look out for potential threats, but that we used to have a little thing where, we used intelligence to figure out who the suspect was. We didn't use surveillance as intelligence gathering.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's not like spies used to just walk around the city to see if anything is going on anywhere. Let's check in every house to see if maybe like a terrorist is here.
Now all the terrorists know not to use Angry Birds.
Yeah, someone in the chat room just a few seconds ago actually said, "Why the fuck would terrorists play Angry Birds?"
That's what I was just thinking. Like, all these terrorists are coming, and you.
Well, why? It's a fun. Wait a minute. Why wouldn't terrorists play Angry Birds?
Yeah, it's a fun game. What the hell?
I don't understand why a terrorist wouldn't play. Like,
what better game to kill time while you're building bombs and shit?
Or well,
maybe that's why the bombs don't go off.
Terrorists take shits too.
Right, I know, but wouldn't you, though? Like, wouldn't you use, like, a phone that couldn't be, like, you would use, like, a track phone, and I don't think you'd be really connecting to the internet just because,
if they're, like, if they're, like, undercover, they'd probably have maybe, like, a public phone and then their track phone, And I'm sure some of them have fucking smartphones.
I can see the headline already. Terrorists captured through Angry Birds.
We told you it was keeping us safer.
See? Well, the headline would just be "See."
Well, now they have a lot of programs that will encrypt your data on your phone, though, so you could conceivably have a smartphone and still be communicating with someone as long as they have like the same app or program running on their device.
Wow. Yeah, that's.
And most of it's open source too, so it doesn't even cost anything.
Let's see what else Fox News had to say. There's like 40 seconds left.
The NSA, in its collection, is focused on the communication of people who are valid foreign intelligence targets. They are not focused on the information of ordinary Americans.
Well, that not.
It's just all so vague. There's nothing specific there. It's like, oh, we're just investigating potential threats, not ordinary Americans. Who gets to define these terms?
Yeah, and it seems like Angry Birds is something that ordinary Americans would play. Because I know I've played it before.
But you're a potential terrorist.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just I don't agree with this on a fundamental level. I don't think that most people should or do. This is just like, this is the Soylent Green is people moment where you're just like, oh shit, this is like really fucked up now. Maybe we should do something. We won't though, don't worry.
I feel like this is like people are just getting used to it. Like people are just getting used to their privacy being taken away. So like at first people are gonna be like, oh, I can't believe this is going on. But like they're just gonna accept it. They're not gonna do anything to really change it because they don't care that much. They're gonna just take what they say and be like, oh yeah, they're only using it for the terrorists, not us ordinary Americans. And then they're just gonna move on with their life and that's it. So it's like, no one's ever gonna try to fix it. It's just we're pretty much just screwed.
Yeah, as far as that goes, I just don't have any hope anymore at all for that kind of stuff to stop all the mass surveillance on pretty much anyone they want.
There's no way it will.
Yeah.
I don't have any hope that it'll stop, but I just still feel like it's necessary to advocate for it to stop on the off chance that people will give a shit at some point.
And encrypt all devices still. I always say that every time we talk about this, encrypt all of your devices.
Yeah, you were saying that. Yeah, I found another story about, I guess the former CEO of Toys R Us and an executive from White Castle did this report about how bad it's going to be to raise the minimum wage.
Good.
Yeah.
Finally.
I firmly believe it's time to give America a raise.
Well, you know, today the president doubling down on hiking the minimum wage. It's easy for him. He really isn't paying for it. Companies are, or will, if he gets away with it. Jamie Richardson is the vice president of government relations over at White Castle. Jerry Storch, of course, the former big guy at Toys R Us. Jerry, I mean, it's an interesting point because we forget that it's guys like you and the companies that foot the bill for doing stuff like that.
You know,
well, it's bad.
Oh, wow.
You know, I just want to say briefly before we get a little deeper into this that it makes sense that these guys in their positions in their lives advocate for these sorts of things. What's really puzzling is that there are people who are just normal and common people who are really not benefiting from this system at all, who are just like, yeah, this is real. This makes sense.
Yeah, it's like the Joe the plumber type guy who, you know, he didn't have shit, but he was advocating against his own interest. Yeah.
Well, they take this very like macro view of it's like, if you spend more money, then there'll be less money to pay employees, so they'll have to have less employees. And it's just like they don't factor anything else in. I mean, they just don't understand like economics even a little bit.
All right, let's dig a little deeper.
For the country, it's bad for growth, it's bad for jobs. It ships jobs overseas when you raise rates here. And of course, there's a waterfall or cascading effect beyond the minimum wage. It starts applying to the next worker up the ladder, the next worker up the ladder, and so on. Also, it makes capital investment harder to make because it's hard to get a return on capital when the wages are higher. And it causes you to look for ways to replace labor with automation. So it's bad for growth and it's bad for jobs.
Pushes you further into that. You know, Jamie, a lot of retailers I talked to said, you know, Neil, we would be open to raising the minimum wage, just not 40% and just not in one fell swoop. Is that where you're coming from or what?
You know, Neil, when we look at it, we know that artificially raising that federally mandated starting rate doesn't create ladders of opportunity. It creates a game of chutes and ladders that makes it difficult for kids who need the jobs the most.
Chutes and ladders, that's his territory.
Aren't they supposed to be fair and balanced and have people of opposing views?
No. Common misconception.
I think you're mistaken.
But of course, we don't have anyone with opposing views on our show right now, so.
Yeah, we want
These guys
to.
are right. You guys are idiots.
We need 1K. Conservatives, if any of you are out there and you want to be on our show, do it. We will mock you.
Oh, man, we're going to browbeat them so bad.
That'd be so awesome.
We'll beat you intellectually, too, though. It'll be interesting.
Then we'll come to your house and curb stomp you.
That's really going to get them to come on.
The last part was a bit of an embellishment.
No, not at all.
Slight embellishment. That's not happening. At least, you know, not unless you piss us off.
So, Jaclyn, do you think that they should raise the minimum wage?
I don't. I just, like, I've thought about it a lot, and it's just, I've seen different places do this, and then, honestly, like, they just put more work on the people who are still there and fire people.
Okay, so we do have someone that disagrees with us.
I mean, I don't know. Like, it depends. It depends on the situation. I mean, certain people do deserve more, but there's other people who, like, the companies are just assholes, and they're just going to fire people. And, like, that happened at my mom's company. She works for United Airlines, and a bunch of people got fired.
You know, I don't disagree that would happen.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I agree with that outcome, but I just think that there would be a better long-term outcome.
I agree with that.
I think that what it's going to do is basically it's going to, as these wages increase, these people are going to get more purchasing power. That's going to create new consumer demand because when people have more money, they're going to spend more money, especially on like luxury items, which is going to create more jobs. And if the new minimum wage is that, you have to hire people at that rate. And so I think that then that kind of starts redistributing the wealth a little bit because the companies are forced to pay a higher wage. And, you know, as that kind of spreads through the economy, I think that, you know, you kind of have, I mean, like we have an economy that's based on consumerism where a lot of people can't even afford to consume anymore. So, I mean, we have to get the gears turning again, and I think that's the necessary way to do it.
You know,
Yeah.
and tie it to
What do
inflation.
you guys think though about like everybody, all these people who are going to college and getting degrees, and then the jobs aren't available for them once they graduate, and now even few jobs are going to be available?
Oh, I think that's
You think
terrible.
And that's actually another reason why I support the minimum wage raise, just because I know that a lot of people are going to be forced into these menial jobs. I mean, we were just talking earlier about how the average age of a pizza delivery guy is now 27. I mean, this used to be like a teenager's job. Or no, there was a fast food job is down to now 27.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, like that used to be the job that was done by like the kids. This is now a job that is being done by like adults late into their 20s. I mean, this is a problem.
Well, it's different in different states. So, what do you think the minimum wage should be?
I would say
think
$10, something around that.
I go 15.
Yeah, me and TJ think $15 an hour.
I think it has to be $15 an hour. I don't think you can do that suddenly. I think you'd have to do that in increments. But I think that should be the ultimate.
It needs to be
goal.
tied
and then
to
I
consumer
think
prices and inflation.
I think
too,
once it
though.
reaches 15, it should be tied to inflation, so that we don't have to do this again. We don't have to have this fight again in the future. I think we should settle a minimum wage, and then tether it to inflation and cost of living. And then, I think that would resolve a lot of fucking problems.
I think the worst thing about people graduating and not being able to find a job is that they usually have unbelievable student loan debt, which I think is probably the biggest problem for a lot of people that graduate.
Yeah, that system needs to be reformed simply because, like you were saying, people are going to massive amounts of debt. They're not able to even find any jobs in the field which they're interested. So, which I mean, part of that is personal choice, but we live in such a country where we'd rather have people take on debt. We should just really, I think, adopt something more like Norway, where the brighter students should have their education paid for, because you keep them in that country innovating and actually creating the jobs of tomorrow and things like that. Not just like, well, I have to go somewhere else because I have so much debt.
Well, there should be more programs like that. In Florida, I was pretty lucky. They had all these different scholarships I was able to get through and really didn't have to pay for college. But like a lot of my friends who went through college, like they can't get a job. And I don't know. Minimum wage right now is really shitty. Some states have it like $7 and something, which is just horrible.
The federal mandate is $7.25, and some states do have it that way.
And the highest is Washington State, and it's $9.84 an hour, I believe.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, something like that. Like I know California is 9 something. So yeah, I do think it should be raised, but like I think that they're calling for it to be they want it to be at 15 now. That's what you guys said, but I think that's also what they're trying to push for, right?
Obama is going for 10-10.
Yeah, it's almost like 999 plan.
I guess they decided 10-10 seems like a good marketing ploy. That's really a marketing decision. It's gonna be 10-10. You're gonna make 10-10.
Easy to remember.
Yeah.
But I think that Obama could probably do it. We'll see. I know that the popular support is behind it, at least for now, before the Republican machinery gets to work at full blast.
So do you want to hear what this guy has to say about it? Do you want to move on to something else?
Let's hear what he has to say. Maybe there'll be some more meat on the bone.
All right.
You stick to food. Go ahead.
That's right. But it makes it harder for these kids, especially in our neighborhoods where we have restaurants. It makes it harder for these kids to get that start. And
this is the vice president of White Castle, by the way, the highest quality of nutrition.
Yes. I remember being so disappointed by Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle because, well, I mean, I wasn't disappointed by the movie, but I was like, man, I've never had it before. I saw that movie and I was like, man, that must be awesome. And I fucking ate it, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
This movie makes no sense to me now. I guess that's part of the joke. Fuck.
It is.
Detroit, for instance, 30% of teens are unemployed, and these are the kids we want to give that chance to have that opportunity to learn and grow and take those skills with them, or if we do our job, they'll stay with us and have a great career.
What if you have a situation, though, Jerry, where this goes through, these federal new contractors are paid at that higher wage, 10-10, and then stores and others stand out, even though they're the vast 95% of the majority not paying that wage. Isn't it meant to pressure Republicans or you guys to up the wage somewhat?
Well, certainly that's the attempt.
And that's the strategy,
Yeah,
right?
that's the objective. And if that's the law, then of course everyone would do it. But, what the minimum wage is or isn't, in a way it's a sideshow, because the real issue is growth, how to get growth in jobs, and the real issue is education. You can pay if someone's worth what they want to earn. So if you want to pay more, they have to be worth more. And fundamentally, the issue in the country really is education. And I think that's something everyone can agree on. If we focus on that instead of arbitrarily mandating what wages can be, then employers would be happy to pay more.
I mean, let's just be honest. Employers do everything in their power to fuck employees. I mean, that seems pretty obvious to me.
In a lot of cases, yeah.
I mean, there's definitely good companies out there. I think Costco maybe is a good example of that. They pay their employees a very decent wage. But I mean, for the most part, a lot of companies try to pay their employees as little as they possibly can.
Well, especially their entry-level employees, like
Yeah. Which, with the job market being so shitty, a lot of people who have giant student loan debts are being forced to take jobs that, pay these entry-level wages for, careers that don't even have much social advancement to begin with.
Okay, what about this? Like, I have a friend who's in that situation that you just explained.
Yeah.
And she finally is making a couple dollars, I don't know, above minimum wage. Like, in Florida, it's not that great, but she's making like 11 or 12 bucks or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And she got notified that whenever they have to increase the minimum wage, her pay is going to be reduced to minimum wage so that they can pay the employees that are making less than her more. So, like, I feel like this is also going to, like, I don't feel like this part's really talked about. Like, the people that are just making over minimum wage now or close to it, it's going to demean their wages for the work that they do, and it's going to cause a lot of problems there too. And then, of course, you're gonna have like insurance problems, and it's going to be higher premiums. And I don't know. I have a lot of people, like, because I went to USF,
I think a lot of that can also be corporate scare tactics too. Because remember, pretty much no corporation in America really wants the minimum wage raised. This is something that's popular among the people. I mean, there's some businesses that support it. Obviously, I don't want to hyperbolize here.
Well, no, people don't want to pay money. That makes sense. But what they're going to do is they're just going to redistribute it. They're going to take it from people who are making above that and then pass it around.
Yeah, I mean,
they're not going to actually pay out more for salary.
The fact that these companies would do something like that to begin with just shows that they're going to continue that pattern of behavior unless we put a stop to it now.
Yeah.
Do you really think you're going to stop it by doing this?
I think that, you have to believe that some sort of progress is possible. Otherwise, why even care about the situation at all?
I mean, yeah, I think some progress is possible, and I don't know. I just have a feeling that it's going to benefit some people, and it's going to hurt a lot of people too.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to have effects on both sides. I think over time it could have more beneficial effects, just in my opinion. But obviously when anything like that changes and someone is forced by law to pay more money, then there will be negative effects that will be passed on.
I'm not even gonna. I think it would be intellectually dishonest to deny that there's going to be negative effects to a raise in minimum wage.
Every piece of legislation has winners and losers, and that's just the fact of American life. There's always going to be someone who gains and someone who loses.
But I just think that overall, it's a better direction for the country.
You're basically weighing. You have to weigh that out. Like, are more people going to win or lose? And that's pretty much where you have to come in on most issues like this. Which side you believe is correct.
Do you think that it's going to lead to more jobs being, like they said before, shipped elsewhere because they can't afford to pay people here?
That's going to happen anyways. Automation is an undeniable fact, so that's bullshit.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I found another clip here. It's Obama.
Another big issue in this country.
Obama talking about weed, and he's actually talking about it in a way that he seems to have changed his position about it from how it used to be.
Magically.
Yeah.
Now that 2 states have legalized it and a majority of Americans now support legalization, now he's changed his position miraculously.
Yeah.
How convenient.
Yeah.
Another big issue in this country right now has to do with the legalization of marijuana. You gave an interview to the New Yorker's David Remnick, and you said that you thought smoking pot was a bad habit, but you didn't think it was any worse for a person than drinking. Now, that contradicts the official Obama administration policy, both on the website of the Office of National Drug Control policy, and also the fact that marijuana is considered a Schedule I narcotic along with heroin and ecstasy. Now, do you think you were maybe talking just a little too casually about it with Remnick and the New Yorker, or are you considering not making marijuana a Schedule I narcotic?
Well, first of all, what is and isn't a Schedule I narcotic is
a job for Congress.
I think it's the DEA that decides that.
It's not something by ourselves that we start changing. No, there are laws undergirding those determinations.
Would you support that move?
But the broader point, I stand by my belief, based, I think, on the scientific evidence, that marijuana for casual users, individual users, is subject to abuse just like alcohol is, and should be treated as a public health problem and challenge. But as I said in the interview, my concern is when you end up having very heavy criminal penalties for individual users.
So this is basically a pretty big change from how he used to talk. A lot of times he wouldn't specify as much as he does now. He speaks more candidly about it now, it seems.
He knows which way the wind is blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's obvious. The problem with marijuana prohibition is we arrest, about 700,000 people a year. We spend billions of dollars. You know, they fill jails, waste time and money. It's just a moneymaker for the government at this point, and everyone realizes that.
Yay, weed. I don't know why it took so damn long for him to say that. It's like, what's the point of even electing people anymore? They're just going to do whatever the popular opinion is anyways.
Yeah, and I think the fact that he doesn't have to run for re-election again has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, you would think it would have maybe emboldened him more. I mean, I guess that they're now announcing that he's planning to be more of a fucking ballsy president who's going to govern more in the George Bush style, which I'm not convinced that's a good thing. But I don't know, maybe that's necessary for things to actually get moving again in this country.
I think Obama's going to launch a drone strike at our house now.
Napalm death.
That have been applied unevenly, and in some cases with a racial disparity. And I think that is a problem. Over the long term, what I believe is if we can deal with some of the criminal penalty issues, then we can really tackle what is a problem not just for marijuana, but also alcohol, also cigarettes, also harder drugs, and that is try to make sure that our kids don't get into these habits in the first place. And you know, the incarceration model that we've taken, particularly around marijuana, does not seem to have produced the kinds of results that we've set.
Oh, gee, you think?
I like the fact that he just said particularly around marijuana, because I mean what he's kind of saying is this sort of applies to our entire drug policy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just wish he'd be a little bit ballsier in making that sort of statement, and just outright say it instead of just sort of alluding to it vaguely.
The people at the DEA are living in fantasy land. If you listen to the interviews with them, they're just like, these are all really bad drugs. And they're going to spread to children. They're going to kill the children. Everyone's going to die. It's horrible.
Okay, but look, these guys have put people in prison for this shit for years, and now America's saying, maybe this shit ain't that bad. So, like, what do they look like? They look like assholes and idiots.
Their private prison kickbacks.
Yeah, so we'll play a little bit more of it here.
Note, and I said this in the interview. Those who think legalization is a panacea, I think they have to ask themselves some tough questions too. Because if we start having a situation where big corporations with a lot of resources and distribution and marketing arms are suddenly going out there peddling marijuana, then the levels of abuse that may take place are going to be higher.
That's really a very interesting statement at the end by Obama about the corporations getting their hands on marijuana and making it another mass manufactured drug. I mean, considering what we did to beer and cigarettes, I wonder how badly giant corporations would fuck up the distribution of marijuana. It's like, hey, let's water down all the beer. Let's add a bunch of chemicals to this already dangerous plant that we smoke. So what are they going to do to weed?
That's true.
They're probably going to lace it with, like, rat poison. Like, this makes the high better.
I watched something about how they processed cigarettes for one of the major tobacco companies, and it looked disgusting.
Oh, yeah. It's
how they did it,
disgusting.
all the chemical treatments that they give it and stuff like that. It's It's pretty interesting.
They would do the same to weed. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah, then all of a sudden there would be data that weed's killing people.
People still think that. It's ridiculous. I don't know why. It's like a pretty common thing that you hear. I don't know. At least I hear it.
Maybe if you're like a forklift operator.
TJ, remember the
smoke
commercials
like 10
that show how
to work.
deadly weed was? The kids would be playing with their dad's gun or something.
Dude, I'm so high. This is like, is this even reality? What's going?
And then they had the drive-through where the stoner like black kids ran over like the little black kid. It was like, oh, they were so high and weren't paying attention.
That's like the after-school special right there. You know.
Don't drink alcohol, or you're going to end up with your brains on the sidewalk.
So, do you think we should take a short break or something like that?
Yes, let's take a mild, short break.
Is it okay if we call you back, Jaclyn, when we come back?
Sounds good.
All right, talk to you then.
We'll be back with Jaclyn in 10, 15 minutes. Woohoo! Bam!
All right. All right, well, back.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
TJ's
Drunken
back.
Peasants are back.
Tell a friend.
Why are you singing me? You're just like my trumpeter.
TJ is awesome.
That'd be awesome if that was actually true.
It's like the cake is a lie, TJ. The TJ is a lie.
That's true also.
TJ is a lie.
I'm just a construct. No.
We're just waiting for Jaclyn to come back.
We're kind of not going anywhere because we're spinning our wheels in the mud because we're getting Jaclyn back on the air.
Well, also, TJ got
I always
in trouble.
call it the air even though we're not a radio show.
TJ got in trouble for eating Oreos.
Consider it a quote.
Just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, yeah.
He was assaulted eating Oreos.
Ben and I's wives are making us some kind of delectable concoction in the kitchen. And it involves Oreos, and I stole one, and I wasn't supposed to.
He's like an Oreo ninja, and I like I keep steadfast to this belief. Like, you could put like one pack of Oreos in like a warehouse filled with like shit, and TJ would find the Oreos and eat them before you could even like imagine. I think it'd take like 5 minutes, and they'd be gone.
So you're saying that if there was a Where's Waldo book, but it was just like a tiny pack of Oreos hidden in the complex elaborate drawings, I could literally just go through it like no pause between pages. There.
Yeah, like I said, you're like an Oreo bloodhound.
Yeah. It was like it was almost like instinct how you grabbed it, opened it, and started like eating them. Almost like it wasn't even a conscious effort. It was just kind of like.
It really wasn't because I literally opened the bag before I even realized there were Oreos.
And like Holly attacked you and was like, "Get away
like
from
the
this."
sequence of events was I had an Oreo in my hand, and then I realized, holy shit, there's Oreos in this house.
It says someone in the chat room said that TJ eats the white cream filling first.
Is that a sexual innuendo?
I believe it is.
Okay.
Oh my god, these people are sick.
That's just wrong. That is wrong. That is an offensive and
wives,
disrespectful
like,
question.
TJ fucks things. You're so stupid.
What?
TJ
no,
has
I said
wives, multiple.
No.
He said.
No. I know what he said. That's
He
so
said,
dumb.
she said, they said.
It says that
I said Ben and I's wives. Ben's wife and my wife together. They are wives.
Yeah. So
Not with each other though.
TJ fucks things.
Oh, really?
You fucked up again.
I thought that was how it worked. Oh, well.
TJ versus Rob Ford. Who would eat all the?
TJ versus Rob Ford. Who would eat all the Oreos first? Who's
Wow.
Who's Rob Ford? Is that that's the crazy mayor of Toronto, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, TJ. He's pretty fucking fat.
Yeah, but and he's on crack too.
Yeah, I think that gives him an advantage.
Yeah, he has a certain edge. But if I was addicted to crack and I did some serious training, I think I could stand a chance.
All right, so Jaclyn's ready. I'm going to bring her back on here.
Bring her back. Bring back the Jack.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
So you interviewed Richard Dawkins. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that came about, how that was?
That was probably the coolest thing I've ever done. What happened was people tweet me a lot of stuff about what's going on, and they send me funny articles and stuff. And one person tweeted me, and they're like, "Hey, Richard Dawkins is going to be in L.A.," which I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And I thought about it for a while, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just try to reach out and see if there's any shot in hell that I can get into this thing. So I sent an email to the two people that were on the contact list for the, I guess, event invitation or whatever. And I'm like, yo, I make these videos, think I could get in. And one of the people actually watched my videos and was like, oh, I like your videos. Like, that's so cool. I want to meet you. So yeah, come to this thing. So I went, and it was a charity event for him, and I got to meet the guy who works for him. And then he came there, and he actually knew me from I made the stupid video about Ray Comfort because he had that documentary, if you want to even call it a documentary, The Evolution versus God. I'm sure you guys watched it.
I never actually watched the movie, but you kind of fucked me on that because I was sitting there thinking like I'm gonna do like a comprehensive rebuttal to this piece of shit movie, and then they're like, hey, and then a bunch of people wrote me like, hey, you see JaclynGlenn's comprehensive rebuttal to this piece of shit movie, and I was like, well, fuck. Well, at least I don't have to watch it now.
Yeah, I watched it like 3 times all the way through because I wanted to make sure that like there wasn't one single thing that I left out. Because, you know, if you do that, then they're like, you just ignored the one really good point that he made, and they ignore everything else you say. So I'm like, I'm not going to exclude anything. So he knew me from that because I gave him a lot of credit in that video. So he knew me because of that. I guess he started following me on Twitter, and that's like, I got so excited about that. And then, yeah, so I got to go and I met him at this event. And then he talked to me a lot throughout it, which I felt kind of bad because a lot of people actually paid to get in there, and I didn't. And I was just kind of hanging out with him and monopolizing his time, but I was like excited, so I didn't care. And we talked a lot, and he had an event coming up later in the week where he was speaking at a university and asked me to go film it for him so he could put it on his website, and I did that. And then while I was doing that afterwards, I just threw it out there. I was like, hey, you think I could ask you a couple questions for my YouTube channel? And he's like, oh yeah, you know, I love your videos or whatever. So I did that. And then he actually sent me a shirt in the mail later, one of his like religion, you know, Together We Can Find the Cure t-shirts. He's like, if I send this to you, will you wear it on your television? I was like, yes, wear it on my television.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that's just kind of how that happened. And now he tweets my stuff all the time, which is really cool. Like, I have like a little fangirl moment every time it happens. Like, oh, Richard Dawkins just sharing my stuff. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But that's just how it happened. Like, I just, on a whim, sent these people an email saying, hey, I wonder if I could get into this. And somebody knew me and was like, yes, and that's just kind of how it happened. So
yeah, it's amazing when you do the YouTube thing how you just do these seemingly little things sometimes that lead to these really big moments. Like, you know, you might shoot a video that you think is like nothing in a second, and then, you know, it's this big thing or it has this big controversy, or you try, and then it's like you were talking about earlier how you've made all these criticisms of Islam, and, you know, it's kind of like, you know, you get some backlash, but it's usually nothing serious. But then if you insult the cult of Bieber, it's like, oh shit, prepare for the onslaught.
I did get some pretty serious hate though for that Muslim video.
Oh yeah,
that I made,
you will get hate for the Muslim videos. What do you? Let me ask you this. I'm always curious to ask other YouTubers, what is the angriest you've ever gotten people?
I mean, I have gotten a lot of really angry Justin Bieber fangirls, but they haven't ever threatened to kill me. So I'm gonna have to go with the Islamic people just pissed. So I don't know. Like, I've got
what video did they specifically react to so violently?
The one where I drew Muhammad.
So you got, because, you know, I drew Muhammad and I felt like I barely got any backlash.
Did you burn the Quran too?
I also did burn the Quran.
Behead the amazing atheist.
And I mean, like, I feel like I do all these really controversial things, but I'm like, well, it's just the amazing atheist. He does that. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's his thing, kind of.
That's what he does.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of backlash until this dude made a response to me. And you know that guy who does the stupid Christian spoken word videos? Like,
yes.
I hate religion but love Jesus.
Yeah, that guy's a tool.
Okay, well, there's like the Muslim equivalent to that guy. And he made a response video to my video where I drew Muhammad. And because of that, all these Muslim people from his channel came and attacked my video. Actually, in the description of his video, he's like, this is JaclynGlenn's video, go and dislike it. You know? And then the whole video, he's like, I'm peaceful, and I would, you know, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he's like, go dislike this fucking video. So, yeah, so I think that's the reason why I had, like, all these crazy people come over and just, like, I think he knew he was doing it, too. You know, he knows that those people aren't going to be, like, coming over to my channel and being like, may Allah have peace with you and you convert to Islam. No, they're all just like, fuck you, bitch. Like, it's hilarious.
And
like,
you posted a video of the comments that you received, didn't you? Or some of them?
I'm working on it, actually, yeah. I some of them. The video I posted had some of them in it, but I'm going to do, like, an entire video.
That's right. I remember I saw you did a few examples, and then you said you were going to dedicate a video to it in the future.
Yeah, I'm going to. I already have it filmed. I just need to edit it and put it out. I'm playing music in the background. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Because I thought that'd be funny. So, yeah, like, oh, it's just crazy, the hate that I'm getting from it. So I made that video responding to the response, and he made another one. So now I feel like I have to make another response video, and I'm going to do it just because people are like, oh, see, you have nothing to say back to him this time. He got you. He wins. So I feel like, God damn it. I have to make another response video, so I'm going to do that. But then I'm going to say in it, like, this is it. I'm done, because it's, like, too much back and forth. I did this with Ray Comfort. Whenever I made that video, like, he came out with some video bashing me, and I made a response, and then he made a response, and I just felt like it was too much. You know, at some point, you, like, just cut it off. So I'll make one more.
We here at the Drunken Peasants affectionately refer to Ray Comfort as Ray Cum Fart.
Ray Comfort, yes.
Yes,
Ray Comfort.
that's
I
what
love
we
that.
that's what we like to say, because we only do the most sophisticated humor on this show. That's a rule.
Take the banana for example, TJ.
Yes, we keep it classy. We keep it classy as long as you remove the C and the L, basically.
TJ couldn't stand Ray Comfort being referred to as Banana Man.
Yeah, I was like, hell no, I don't think so.
That was great, because I got you insult
I had
both
to
Ray
co-opt
Comfort
his
and
title.
you, TJ.
What happened?
I said that was great when I made the banana joke, because I was able to insult both of you at the same time.
That's true. Good job, Scotty.
Thank you.
You get a biscuit when we get home.
All right, cool.
So, Jaclyn.
Yes.
Do you want to jump into another news story here with us?
Sure.
Let's do it. What story do we have now, Ben?
Let's do the story about the girl who was killed for photobombing.
That sounds good.
A serious offense.
Right now, 2 persons of interest in custody and arrested by police in this brutal beating. There's a third person of interest that has not been tracked down yet. But here's the problem. The victim's friends not coming forward, not cooperating with police. That's going to be a problem, I believe. Let's bring in our legal dream team to talk about all that in this case. Here in studio, we've got Esther Panish, great criminal and civil attorney here in Atlanta, and TV's Judge Glenda Hatchett with us as well. And in New York, Double J, Joey Jackson on the case today. Great to have you all here. Let's start first. I want to start first with the victim's friends. And I understand they're from the Vietnamese community out there, and what we hear is there's might be some mistrust of police and government for whatever reasons. But that may result in a miscarriage of justice if you only get her side of the story and you don't get Kim Phan's side of the story because she can't tell it.
That's right. What kind of friends are they of the victim if they won't come forward and tell the police what they saw? They are eyewitnesses to a murder, and they need to be able to be heard. And prosecutors have ways of compelling people to testify, even if they don't want to.
Yeah, I think it's a cultural piece. I think this whole thing of distrust.
So, the story here that they're covering is almost not the fact that someone was beaten to death for the photobomb.
Yeah.
They're kind of covering it from the angle that the Vietnamese friends of this Vietnamese girl that was beaten to death are not coming forward and testifying because they distrust the authorities.
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I don't trust the authorities either, but I think if in the instance of a murder, especially of my friend, like if someone broke in right now and stabbed Ben, I wouldn't be sitting here like, I ain't seen nothing.
Yeah, we saw nothing, man. We were outside.
I ain't seen nothing, man.
Oh, shit, time to get out of here.
Let's roll.
I've heard this before, but somebody's got to sit them down. And I would think that probably the victim's parents would be the most effective to say, look, we just need you. You've got to come through. Otherwise, this person may get away with murder.
Yeah, Joey Jackson, looking at the way everything is evolving here, investigators, this shouldn't be the most difficult case to solve, should it? Because it's caught on camera. Right. There are dozens of people there. She's being killed in front of everyone. Yet for police, it's been a little bit of a struggle here.
Yeah, so she was killed. She was beaten to death in front of a bunch of people for walking into someone's photo.
Was she intentionally trying to be in the photo, or was it just an instance of happenstance?
And it sounds like
doesn't matter.
Huge overreaction.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it has no bearing. I mean, obviously, the reaction is severely. I mean, well, the fact that there even was a reaction would be silly, but the fact that it was such a massive overreaction that resulted in a person's death.
They were gonna post that picture to Instagram. Fuck with Instagram pictures.
Yeah, that would have been the best Instagram post ever, if not for you.
That'd be my profile picture, motherfucker.
Well, this is the same world where you get shot for texting inside of a movie theater, so why not get beaten to death for photobombing?
So you get beaten to death for photobombing, you get shot for texting in a theater.
You also get shot for carrying Skittles and iced tea on you.
Yes, if wearing a hoodie and being black and having Skittles
and
you're
spied on constantly, and you're a potential terrorist.
Yeah, and if you play Angry Birds, the government's spying on you.
Because then you just get famous and rich. So
Yeah. So here's a little more on this.
So tragic, so sad, a life taken way too soon. 23 years old, so much promise, and to think about how she died, it's unbelievable. It boggles the mind to think of a photobomb to lead to murder or death like this. But I think ultimately, and thankfully, not that there's anything thankful about this case, but thankfully I think there are a number of people who witnessed that, and whether those people happen to be related or friends of hers, or whether they happen to be patrons or other people that were there, you could see based on the cell phones, and I understand at least 5 of those phones are in police custody, you know, that'll be a major key here, in addition to other participants who I'm sure will want to come forward and want to see justice in this case, Vinny.
All right, well, let's talk about the other side right now. Michael Malfetta, he's a great attorney. I've had him on my show in years past many times.
You know, I mean, I think we can all agree that beating someone to death for being, you know, photobombing is wrong.
Yes.
Scotty.
I mean, I don't know. It could have been their profile picture, dude.
Yeah, profile.
Justifiable homicide.
What about you, Jaclyn?
I mean, I like to photobomb people, and I think it's funny when people are behind me in pictures. So I don't get the point. The big deal.
So
if may be murdered soon.
Would you now have second thoughts about photobombing some random people if they might, just on the off chance they might just beat you to death?
Yeah, I guess maybe it's not the best idea.
Yeah, in hindsight.
Apparently, some people take it pretty seriously. What do you make of the fact that the witnesses won't come forward? I mean, if one of your friends was beaten to death before your eyes, I think you would want to come forward, right?
Yeah, there's got to be something else going on there. That doesn't make any sense.
I think it may be something like a cultural thing. I don't know. There might be such a strong inherent distrust of the authorities that you're not supposed to talk to them under any circumstance.
I don't know. That's a little bit much.
Yeah, that's what they were implying, but who knows?
That seems to be the tone of the piece. So I don't know if that's a justified perspective or if that's a forced perspective that's oversimplifying something.
Sounds like an excuse. I don't know. I mean, I don't doubt that it's a cultural thing to some degree, but, like, damn, if somebody murdered your friend in front of you, it's kind of pushing it. You know? I can see it for, like, little crimes and things, but murder, like...
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Probably just really selfish and just don't want to be involved in such a matter. They're like, oh, this is just fucked up. I don't want to be involved in this at all.
This is a slam dunk case too. There's video evidence of the murder and everything.
Maybe that's why they don't want to come forward, because they just figure, like, you got video. What do you need us for?
True.
I don't know. I almost feel like they're like afraid of something happening to them if they come forward. Like somebody, like they know who did it or something. Maybe
yeah,
and they're worried
that's
about
true.
You know.
Maybe they're worried about, like, hey, if we're witnesses, maybe these guys have friends or something.
Yeah. I don't know.
We found another story recently where a 12-year-old boy is actually facing life in prison for murder. It's the first time someone of this age is actually facing life in prison.
America, fuck yeah.
How young is too young for a child to go to trial for murder and possibly prison for life?
I would say
Jordan
12.
Brown is a 12-year-old Pennsylvania boy accused of killing his father's pregnant fiancée, and he could become one of the youngest Americans ever to face life in prison.
Jordan Brown was just 11 years old last February when prosecutors say he took a 20-gauge shotgun and shot and killed his father's pregnant fiancée, Kenzie Houck, and her unborn child. Prosecutors allege there was tension between the boy and Houck, adding he was jealous of her and her 2 children.
This is an execution-style killing. You could not be more defenseless and innocent than this woman.
If a judge agrees with prosecutors, Brown would be the youngest defendant in Pennsylvania's history to be tried as an adult. At a recent court hearing, a psychologist called by the defense said Brown told him he didn't kill Houck. The defense contends the only witness, the victim's now 8-year-old daughter, is unreliable and changed her story when talking to investigators. His family and his lawyers say Jordan has no history of bad behavior or violence, insisting he should be tried as a juvenile.
Because he's a child, there's not much question.
But Houck's friends believe justice will only be served if Brown spends the rest of his life in prison.
I want to hear the comment this woman makes.
Okay.
Since it's so near the end anyway.
Okay.
Anyone who knows to muffle the gun so nobody else hears it, to me, has the mind of an 18-year-old.
No, a 12-year-old does not have the mind of an 18-year-old.
Yeah, or he's just emulating something he's seen in a movie or TV show. I mean, I'm not saying that he did the entire murder because of that, but I mean, you know, you see that people use pillows to silence guns in movies and TV shows. So he could have just learned it there and been imitating behavior.
Anyways, that's bullshit.
Well, it doesn't matter whether it works. I'm just saying that doesn't show that he has this brilliant, dark, criminal mind. I think it's more likely that he's emotionally troubled severely.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm not saying that's an excuse for what he did or anything, but I don't think it's appropriate to sentence a 12-year-old to life in prison.
He did this when he was 11, too, so he was even younger than 12.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, I wonder what would happen to a kid in his life for him to come to that point. Like, did he have? Do we know anything about his upbringing? Like, did he have like a fucked up childhood, or is he just psycho?
I guess they were trying to say that he has never been in any type of trouble ever before.
No, I mean, they even had like little league pictures and shit. But, I mean, like, who knows what happens behind closed doors and picket fences?
Very true.
You know, I mean, it could be the case that it's due to emotional trauma. It could just be because he has some form of mental illness. I mean, we don't really know. It doesn't really give us enough
obviously,
information.
he's got some mental illness.
Well,
it
to say
could
that
be.
he's the same as an adult is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it. I don't see the case.
I would say whoever allowed him to get his hands on a firearm should probably be prosecuted instead.
Yeah, it's
maybe not instead, but
well,
also.
both. Also, yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I think he should probably be. I mean, I don't even. I mean, you say, yeah, I would like him punished because this is a bad crime, but I don't really know that going to a juvenile detention facility is really gonna make him all that much better.
Well, he's some kind of mental institution or something, like, you know, but he's not running around hurting more people.
Yeah, I mean, like he's got to be. Obviously, you don't want him running around out there, but I mean, like. The fact that you know that probably he's not he will not get any better where they will be sending him kind of is discouraging.
It's a really weird story.
Yeah. We usually find some pretty strange ones. The next one we found was there was a man having a heart attack, and his daughter, him and his daughter were right in front of a fire station when it happened. And there were firemen standing right there that said they couldn't do anything because they didn't get an official call.
Are you kidding me?
No, here it is.
Wow. A Washington, D.C. woman says her 77-year-old father collapsed in her arms right across the street from that place, a fire station in D.C. Happened Saturday. She says she was told by firefighters through other people who had gone to help that they couldn't respond unless they were dispatched. And adding insult to injury, Maria Mills, this is the daughter, says that someone who was helping her did call 911 to help her dad, but that an emergency vehicle was dispatched to the wrong location. Eventually, a D.C. police officer just flagged down an ambulance that happened to be driving by the spot where her dad, Medrick Mills, was trying to cling to life. This man is a city employee there for more than 40 years, and Cedric Mills died. He died of an apparent heart attack after finally getting some treatment at a nearby hospital, but it wasn't until later that afternoon that he finally passed. His daughter describes the frantic moments that she went through.
Anything you want to say, TJ?
I kind of just want to see what the daughter has to say before I react, I guess.
I could tell he was having trouble breathing. I started screaming. I ran back in the store, asked him to call 911 because I did not have my cell phone. We looked across the street at the fire station. There was a firefighter actually standing against the fire apparatus that was in the fire station, just observing. Everybody started trying to wave him over. I even ran to the curb and said, "Are you going to help me or are you going to let my dad die?"
Washington's Mayor Vincent
Well,
Gray
obviously,
has now called for
you got your answer on that one. Yeah, I mean, like, this is another kind of, like, no-brainer story in terms of where everyone stands. I think we could all agree that it's bullshit. What is the root cause of a situation like this?
Bureaucracy.
The reason is such bullshit, too. Oh, we didn't get an official call, so it's, like, okay to let them die in front of you. Like, that's acceptable. It's like the same thing. It's like
that's so dumb.
You know, it reminds me of these stories I've heard recently of, like, nurses, you know, not helping patients even in emergency situations because, like, oh, I'm off the clock. It's like, okay, well, your job kind of requires that you kind of have the ability to go around that.
I was gonna say, do you remember the stories about the people whose houses burned down because they didn't pay like the $50 county fee?
Yeah.
They'd show up, they're like, nothing we can do.
Oh shit! Well, fire's got to burn. Your neighbors paid, so we'll fucking stay here just in case their house lights on fire. But
have a nice day, sir.
Your house has to burn. Should have paid the $50, buddy. Now you SOL. Really wish we could help you, but we can't because we're assholes.
I mean, I think it applies to more people than just, like, employees. Like, yeah, firemen should do their job and stuff, but, I mean, anybody should help somebody who's having a heart attack. Like, I have someone I know's grandfather died in a restaurant because he was choking on something, and absolutely nobody tried to help him. So her mom was trying to help him, but he still ended up dying because she didn't know what she was doing. But it's like, you really mean to tell me that in an entire restaurant full of people, not one person would try the Heimlich or CPR once he fell down or something? Like, I just don't understand how people can just stand there and watch that happen.
It's something called the bystander effect, which basically, the way it was explained to me is that they did this experiment where they put a person alone in a room and they told them, you have to fill out this test. And they fill out the test, and then the room fills with smoke. The person immediately jumps out of their chair, leaves the room. If you have a room full of people and you fill it with smoke, they all look at each other because they don't know what to do. Because what they're waiting for is for someone else to act. It's called the bystander effect, and that's why no one helped that person who choked. And that's
ridiculous.
Probably also why no one helped the man having the heart attack.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I mean, whenever I was going to class one day, a girl passed out on the floor, and, like, she was really far from me, but I still saw her fall over, and, like, people just walked by her, like, nobody did anything.
Yeah, but Bill, it's because human beings kind of evolved in this, like, close-knit tribal community sort of structure, and now we all mostly deal with strangers on a day-to-day basis. So, there's this, I guess, profound sense of detachment where it's like, well, you're not really part of my community or my group of people, so what happens to you really doesn't matter. I guess, and they just figure, well, someone else will handle it. I mean, a lot of people probably didn't help him too because they figure, well, he's right next to the fire station.
Yeah.
They'll get there real quick.
Yeah, that's the messed up part about it.
And then, of course, the firefighters whose job it is to help this person are not doing it because they haven't got some official word according to their, giant, messed up bureaucratic structure.
Of safety, yeah, an illusion of safety and, assistance that just did not materialize.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pathetic.
So, Jaclyn, where do you stand on the Keystone Pipeline? Do you think that's a bad thing or a good thing?
I mean, I don't know. It's got bad, and, like, I don't know. Everybody I talked to about this, like, they have conflicting opinions, so I don't know. I'm gonna go with, like, mostly bad, obviously.
I think Jaclyn is like me in that she knows vaguely what the Keystone Pipeline is, but really hasn't paid
I know
much
about
more
it, but it's
attention.
just like, yeah.
Because I mean, like, I'll fess up to total
there's-
ignorance, basically.
In Canada, there's something called tar sands oil, and it's this really messy, dirty oil, and it's in central Canada, basically. And they want to get that down to the Gulf Coast to ship it to China and basically Southeast Asia and developing economies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people are opposed to building it because they're worried about the environmental impact.
It'll span several states.
Yes.
Now, what exactly would the environmental?
I heard that it's going to have, like, bad effects with climate change, but I mean, people don't even believe that climate change is a thing. So
It'll definitely contribute.
What is-
But we have tons of pipelines to begin with, so it'll more than likely be approved.
What is the what negative effect is anticipated by it?
Well, possible pipeline leaks, like ones that have happened in Alaska.
Yeah.
Before. And then also just the mass refining of the oil sands.
Yeah, it's
as well.
It's some of the dirtiest oil in the world, basically.
So they think that the refining process. What is there, like, a dangerous byproduct of the refining process?
Well, that's actually what
carbon emissions.
Yeah.
Oh, so just more carbon emissions, basically.
And there's a report here from Fox News that I found about it.
So I'm sure they're in favor.
Oh no, not at all,
No,
TJ.
they're opposed to it.
It sounds evil, so I'm sure they like it.
Now, because the State Department's long-awaited report on the environmental impacts of the Keystone Pipeline project, well, they could be released any time now. Sources telling Fox News it will likely disappoint the critics of the pipeline. It comes on the heels of another report from federal regulators on the growing concerns over safely moving massive amounts of fuel by train. Stephen Dinan is a staff writer at the Washington Times, and he is my guest today on this issue. All right, so we're getting some bits and pieces, Stephen, on what this report is going to say. First and foremost, environmentalists are not going to be happy about this, correct?
Yeah, that's certainly what we hear and what we expect. A couple of reasons for that. First is that this is not the first time, and they're not the first environmental statement that's been done on Keystone. And by and large, all the assessments that have been done before on different routes and whatnot have shown that there may be some problems, some problems you can take care of.
I got to say that I don't have much faith in the government's ability to assess environmental risks at this point. I really don't. I think that basically you can pay for whatever outcome you want. I mean, I obviously have no great expertise in about this particular issue, but it sounds to me like yet another example of something I've seen across the board when it comes to these ecological issues.
Yeah, well, if you notice, they use the term environmentalist, like.
Oh, well, that's like the most derisive word in the English language at this point.
Yeah.
That's like, you don't have to take them seriously. They're an environmentalist. They think that we should take care of the only planet we have.
Fucking tree huggers.
Fucking pieces of shit. Don't they realize big business is more important?
You just need to drink motor oil, TJ.
Yeah. See, like on one side, I hear a bunch of people saying it's going to save us all this money, and it's not really going to cause that big of environmental problems. And then on the other hand, it's like people are saying it's going to cause all this climate change and worsen things, and it's terrible. But it's like, who do you? I really don't
oil
know
is an internationally traded commodity, so saying it's going to save you money it makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, when the price is set by the stock market, how does that save us money?
That's nonsense.
No, the president decides oil prices. You guys.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Unless he's a Republican.
I guess we should probably be glad for that fallacy, considering it's the only thing that really fucked up Bush's approval ratings, at least according to some data I've seen. They pretty much showed that during Bush's presidency, his approval ratings could directly be tethered to gas prices at all times.
God.
I can believe it.
Drive.
It's funny because people take credit for it, and then when gas prices are high, they get blamed for it. It's pretty strange. I
think we just need to explain to people once and for all that the politicians do not control the gas prices.
Yes.
To any great extent.
Not to mention, the people are ridiculous. Like, gas should be $1 a gallon. It's like, have you heard of inflation? What? If gas is $1 a gallon, they basically be losing money to sell it to you.
I mean, my attitude is that I'd like to see gas be more expensive, simply because I think that. And either that or we need to figure out some other way to fucking fund our highway structure.
Yeah, we've had the same gas tax since 1993, which is 18.6 cents per gallon for the federal government, and people drive less and less and drive more fuel-efficient vehicles. So that's why highway funding is so underfunded at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we either need to figure out a different way to fund our highways, or gas prices actually need to go up. But I know that I'm once again taking like an impossible position to defend to everyday people. Like, hey, gas prices actually need to go up. You're insane, die! Stomp on his guts!
Or like a steamroller needs to run over you two afterwards.
Yeah, kill him. Kill him. I just blew someone's speakers, I'm sorry.
Yeah, people always complain about they're like, skip this part of the video if you don't want your speakers blown, because TJ screams or makes fake fart noises into the microphone.
Oh, speaking of comments, yeah, every single person commenting about me is sexual, so thanks for that.
Yeah,
we're very mature.
I hate to even bring this up, but someone came to me and said something along the lines of, I watched JaclynGlenn be interviewed by Richard Dawkins, and like he checks her out like 3 times in that interview.
No, he does not. He was like the sweetest person ever, and I got so many tweets like, "Hey, did you have sex with him? Did you make out with him?" It's like, God, shut the like, what is wrong with people? Of course not.
But had sex with Richard Dawkins. Though.
But did you?
Well, now that you ask,
we just have to get that out. We have to ask.
Are you jealous?
We have to ask.
Are you jealous, TJ? You wanted to have sex with Richard Dawkins?
Who hasn't had sex with Richard Dawkins? He's a slut.
Mrs. Garrison did. Remember?
Now, Mrs. Garrison fucked Richard Dawkins, or
no, he
vice
fucked her.
versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real, TJ.
Sorry. South Park is gospel. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, did you want to take calls soon, or
do we want? Did you say lick balls soon?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
You're
Yeah,
gonna lick
that's
some
what I
balls,
said.
TJ?
There was maybe my speakers acted up there for a second.
You want to talk to people, TJ? See how stupid they are, or smart they are, somewhere in between.
Jaclyn, do you want to take calls?
No.
No.
I don't.
I'm just
blame
kidding.
you.
Well, no, I don't blame you, honestly.
I wouldn't
because
blame you either.
They'll say whatever.
Because we're unscreened. Well, we have a something of a screening process. People have to submit their questions in text form first, but that doesn't always work.
It might take them an hour to ask you the question too. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other day we had a guy. I hate to make fun of him again, but seriously, it was frustrating. This is how he talked like, "Hey. Well, I just I wanted to ask about yeah, it just and on and on.
We're like, Ben, please hang up.
And we're just sitting there like, I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, please talk. We're on a fucking show. You just like, we can't have this much just like empty fucking no. People will think the show's over with these pauses.
Hey, TJ, I am the Count.
Hello, I am the Count.
Everyone in our audience, you have to see Ed Wood because we're obviously going to keep referencing it. Jaclyn, have you seen Ed Wood?
I have not.
Watch Ed Wood.
Oh, it's blasphemy. I'm sorry.
Pulls a string.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
are we gonna? Do we have any more news stories? Are we totally out?
I think. Oh, we could play the rest of this one here.
Nah, that one sucks.
Okay, then I guess we're out.
We're out totally.
Well, I do have a few other ones that I didn't play. There's like a few more Obama ones where there's one where he says it's safe to go to the Olympics in Russia.
Hey, let me ask Jaclyn something totally unrelated to that.
Yeah, ask her what.
That was great.
Hey, Jaclyn, I don't know. Do you like the Batman movies at all?
I mean, yeah, the last one was good. Why?
Okay. I just want to ask you this question because this is like a big thing on Twitter right now. That, was it his name Jesse Eisenberg or something?
Yeah, correct.
The guy who played Mark Zuckerberg in the fucking Social Network.
Right.
Is like being cast as Lex Luthor. And people, and by people I mean me, are pissed off and perplexed by this. Do you have any opinion on that whatsoever?
I mean, I doesn't really make a lot of sense, and I don't think he's the ideal character for that.
Thank you,
Ben Affleck. Oh yeah.
And Ben Affleck is Batman.
Yeah, that's a little strange. But you know what?
And Jeremy Irons is Alfred.
I do want to reserve judgment though until I see the movie because you never know. You never know.
Yeah, that's the.
I think Prince is going to be in the movie too. I have a feeling.
I think Prince should be like the Penguin.
I think you're right.
For some reason, Ben found that just hilarious.
That's pretty funny, actually.
I can't imagine Prince as the Penguin.
He'll be a Mormon penguin.
That's
too.
what I'm saying. All the casting is just fucking weird. They might.
I guess I'd want a more intimidating villain.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Like how? What?
No, that's the villain you get.
I guess that he's just gonna play an eviler Mark Zuckerberg. Okay, we just want you to amp the evil up a little bit. Just take it from 9 to 10.
Imagine Facebook's, but you have rockets now.
Yeah, imagine Facebook with nuclear weapons. Go.
Yeah.
Silence.
Dead silence. Who you think's gonna win the Super Bowl, Jaclyn? I don't even care if you don't watch it. Just pick
I'm going to be completely honest, and I do not know who's playing.
All right, I'm just gonna give you the names of the teams.
Yeah, you pick.
Okay.
And you just pick at random.
Pick one.
All right.
Seattle Seahawks, Denver Broncos.
Seattle Seahawks.
Okay, it's definitive. The Seattle Seahawks are going to win the Super Bowl. And if Jaclyn is wrong, then she's probably wrong about everything else she's ever said.
God.
That makes perfect sense. I agree now.
This standard is not arbitrary or messed up in any way.
Okay, now I have something to root for.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I didn't care.
So what I think we'll do next is
I want to say real quickly
Okay.
that some people have made a big deal out of the fact that both of the states that legalize weed are playing in the Super Bowl. And I know everyone's already talked about this a million times, but I just want to point it out one last time before everyone officially gets sick of it. Weed makes you go to the Super Bowl.
I think one of the weed shops should like offer free weed to all the players that win.
Yeah, that should be the new, like, if you win the Super Bowl, you should just get a lifetime supply of the dankest weed for free, for life.
I agree.
And now I'm going to, that'll motivate, if you really want to motivate people to win, there you go. Because let's be honest, most of these players, they don't have any money, like, 5 years after retirement. They're like doing nothing, just like being high school janitors or something.
Yeah, because they make all these horrible investments. Like, I'm going to buy a car dealership. What do you know about running a car dealership? Nothing.
Yes. We had, when I lived in Albuquerque, we had Carl Malone Toyota. It was like Carl Malone owned
really?
Yeah.
That's wicked
Yeah, it was
weird.
pretty weird.
I think we're alone in knowing what that means.
Karl Malone, basketball player. Yeah, so what I think we're going to do here is take another break here, and we'll have everyone send in their questions that they want to ask anyone here, and then we'll choose the best ones during the break, and then we'll come back.
Yeah, we should probably tell them how to do it again because we might have some new people
Just
listening.
don't ask about TJ's penis. He's very sensitive.
If you want to ask a question on the show, here's the procedure. You simply add Drunken Peasants to your Skype. Please do not call us. That's an instant fucking ban from our list. We will call you when the time comes. If you want to ask a question on the air, send your question via text. We will call you when we come back. You will have your opportunity to ask the question. Maybe you'll have an opportunity to do like a little chit-chat or whatever if you don't annoy us too much. And
be prepared to actually fucking talk like a human being.
and like be sure, I don't know why I have to say this, but be sure that you're actually prepared to ask the question once you're put on the air. Thank you. That would be great.
Also, don't listen to your computer. Turn your computer down.
Yes, wear headphones. There's a lot of rules for this. I hope you guys are not getting
rules.
lost.
You have to follow them all.
The 9,478 rules of being a guest on the Drunken Peasants podcast.
I wonder why no one wants to be on the show.
Yeah.
All right, Jaclyn, we're going to call you back after the break.
All right, see you then.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, we'll be right back in about 15 to 20 here. All right, we're back now.
Whoa.
Whoa, bro.
Boom, 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 boom. Crazy reverberation effect.
Yeah, so we're going to get Jaclyn back on here, and then...
We're going to get the Jackie back once again.
Guess who's back?
Back again. Jaclyn's back. Tell a friend.
What's up?
What's up, player?
What's up, Negro?
How you doing, Jaclyn?
I'm
How
good.
you doing?
How are you?
Have any devastating events rocked your life in the brief time that we've been gone?
Well, I finished my tea, so that sucks.
You finished your tea.
Yeah.
What kind of tea was it?
Chai.
Chai tea.
Do you put
Yeah.
milk in
The
it?
famous JaclynGlenn, who once interviewed Richard Dawkins, drinks chai tea.
Dun, dun, dun.
You can only learn those facts here on The Drunken Peasants, the greatest
that's
podcast
more-
in all of existence.
It's more breaking news than Justin Bieber shit, so hell yeah.
Yeah. Justin Bieber
That
took a
is true.
shit and Jaclyn's out of tea.
TJ, I think we can both agree chai tea sucks, though.
Chai tea. Our mom likes that, Jaclyn.
Yeah.
Are you our mom?
I like chai tea. I like
Yeah,
to
I've
put
been meaning
milk,
to tell you, I am your mother.
milk and cinnamon.
You're my
I like to put
English
that in
mother,
chai
too.
tea.
Hey, what were we doing again? We're calling people.
Yeah.
So let's see let's see if that's a disaster or whatever.
Yeah, we'll see. Here we go.
Or
Here's-
whatever.
Optimism, TJ.
This is someone who asked a question that TJ liked. And feel free.
Or at least didn't hate
Yeah.
completely. Smoke pan every day.
Hey.
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 All right.
All right. Yeah, ask your question.
What's your favorite musical score from a movie, like a soundtrack?
A movie soundtrack score?
Yeah, or video game.
You know, I feel can we do like a musical?
Yeah. Whatever, as long as it's not Titanic.
Damn it. Titanic isn't a musical.
Yeah,
though.
I was just thinking that.
No, I'm just saying, just don't choose Titanic because that would.
Well,
be
if it's a
shit.
musical, I have to go with Rocky Horror Picture
I think we
Show.
all have to choose Titanic now.
Everyone, we all have a pretty much 100% consensus about Titanic. I would say probably oh man, that's
I
tough.
think the best one in recent times was Inception. I'm gonna go with that.
You know, I kind of have a fondness for I mean, I hate the Tim Burton Batman movies at this point, but I really like the music from them.
Danny Elfman.
Yeah, the Danny Elfman. I also like A Nightmare Before Christmas, which I think is also Danny Elfman's
Yes, it
score.
is. Oingo Boingo.
Yeah, so I guess I like Danny Elfman.
Why don't you go suck his dick, TJ?
How do you know I haven't just got back from doing that?
I'm going to say something different. I'm going to say Iron Man and Thor because I know the guy who scored them, so I have to say that as a friend.
Okay, but
You know everyone.
aside from your friend's amazing scoring skills, what would you pick as your
I have no
second
idea.
place?
I really don't give a shit outside of that.
You don't give a shit about music, Jaclyn?
And if anyone here is not...
I just, my black atheist
And
heart
also-
doesn't care about these things.
And also, you don't give a fuck about what your friend does for a living? Wow, that's
Wow.
callous. That's cold.
And also, if,
I'm that kind of
if you're
bitch,
not
yeah.
from Los Angeles, then you don't know that everyone thinks everyone else's shit is amazing. And you have to say it like that. They're amazingly talented.
Oh, I have this amazing friend. She is amazing. She makes these little fucking clay pigeons.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh my
anybody-
god.
Anybody who uses the word amazing is a total idiot. I mean, like, what?
Hey, I'm the amazing atheist.
Wow.
But then again, it is ironic.
All right, so thanks for the call. We're going to go on to the next
You
one.
are a
here.
bitch, Jaclyn. Wow.
Love you too.
You
Yeah.
got served.
You got served now.
Yeah, so
We're on to the next caller. The caller that is next.
Yep.
Any minute now.
Any day now.
Why is Skype so shittily designed?
I don't know.
It was built-
Skype is a piece of
It
fucking
was built
shit.
by Indians.
Skype, you're dropping the ball.
Yeah. All right.
Obama's fault.
Obama sucks.
Fuck you,
By them.
Obama.
What?
Hello, guys.
Hello,
Greetings.
Christopher. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for calling me.
You're
Really
welcome
appreciate
for
it.
calling you.
Christopher.
We like you, Christopher.
I noticed on your channel that you were liking these, so I decided to check them out, and I really, really enjoyed them. I was watching them on the weekends after you guys produced them, and I figure, I ought to spend the time all the callers you've been pretty shit, so I'll spend the time make up the best question I can.
Okay, Christopher, you're officially my favorite caller ever
You
so
insulted
far.
the other callers, too.
You
Fuck
insulted
yeah.
the other callers and showed extreme intellectual elitism, and I like that.
Sweet.
All right, so what's your question, buddy?
Well, basically, I was thinking about this theory that was presented that maybe religion is actually healthy to raise a child on, because it will either teach them, either they'll figure out at some point in their life that it's all bullshit, or they'll be stuck, like, religious for the rest of their life. And what that's going to do is it's going to develop a lot of critical thinking skills. It's like being religious really does, for intelligent people, make them ask a lot of questions. I was raised very religious myself, and it was many, many years before I personally became an atheist, and it took a long time for me to finally accept that, well, what I had been raised on was bullshit.
I think it depends on the religion too.
That's a really good question. I actually just had this conversation with somebody. So, yeah, I'm interested to hear what everybody else thinks, but I still think it's bad.
Jaclyn, tell us why you still think it's bad, Jaclyn, because I agree with you, but I don't know if the reason is the same.
Because I think it's horrible to scare a child with eternal hellfire. And also, I think that you should raise them with morals, because doing the right thing is the right thing to do, instead of if you do this, if you do the bad things, you're going to be punished in this terrible way. Like, I see it kind of equivalent to, like, Santa Claus. Like, if you're not good, you're not going to get presents.
Well,
that's fine, because eventually the kid grows up. But,
let me just play devil's advocate for a second here, Jaclyn.
Go for it.
Now you say, well, you can't scare a child with the evils of hell, but what would you say to someone who would say, well, the world is scary anyway? Maybe that's a good thing to teach them, to learn how to cope with fucking fear, which is something they will encounter in their lives.
Well, then why not tell them the scary things about the world instead of making up a bunch of shit that's not real? You know what I mean?
There you go, Jaclyn. You passed the test. All right.
Okay.
I want to say something though. Like, if you raise someone an ideology, and it's like, okay, yeah, they believe the ideology, and now it's stuck for life. So I mean, you're just gonna have another generation of people, perpetuating the same bad idea. That's like, okay, this book that was written 2,000 years ago is totally good to go.
My problem with it is,
or Islam or whatever.
Even if the hypothesis is correct, it still doesn't mitigate the profound negative social impact religion has. Even if individual people might be healthy and it might provoke a lot of interesting questions, I still think that it's not worth it for what it does to our society as a whole. And I think that there's much more interesting questions for young children to ask than, is everything my parents are teaching me bullshit? Maybe they should be wondering about what else is out there in this vast cosmos that we all live in.
Yeah, see, I was raised by parents who were cafeteria Catholics, very liberal Catholics who didn't agree with a lot of the things that the Catholic Church taught. But I still went to Catholic schools from kindergarten through 12th grade, so I was more indoctrinated in school. But then I'd go home with these ideas that I was taught in school, and my parents would disagree with a lot of them, like birth control and abortion and things like that. So I think, in a way, having both sides of that and learning about what that religion really was, and then learning about how a lot of people choose to follow that religion according to their own terms kind of helped me leave religion in the end.
I really am thankful for all the points that you guys brought up. And Jaclyn said a word that the theory kind of harkens back to. She said Santa Claus, and a big part of the theory came from the idea that it's pretty general. Like, I'm sure a lot of America, if not like in the 90% of America, is teaching their kids that Santa Claus is a real being.
He's white
magical.
too, by the way.
Yeah, that is white.
And Megyn Kelly made sure to let us know Santa Claus is white. He is no other color.
And his wife is white, and they live in the North Pole, and
all the
great.
elves are white. Okay, you can have one black elf. That's it. One.
So,
and also bears in the North Pole play with Coca-Cola bottles, of course.
Go ahead, Christopher. Sorry.
That's all right. So with the idea that, like, I personally was taught that Santa was real. I was told by my mother. I remember the exact day when I called it out in my own mind. She said, Santa is real. And I had all these conflictions in my mind. You know, I was critically thinking, like, how does one go around the world in a night?
The
You know, all
problem,
this stuff.
the real problem with it is that you may be a natural critical thinker, but not everyone is. And other people could be taught critical thinking skills. And they're not being taught critical thinking skills. Instead, their heads are being filled with nonsense. And I think that's a problem.
And there's another thing, there's another part with that too. Like with Santa Claus, first of all, no adult really believes in Santa Claus. So at some point that's phased out. It's not like that with religion. And also with Santa Claus, when you're bad, you're not getting presents. With God, if you're bad, you're being tortured for all of eternity, and anybody who's different than you is also tortured for all of eternity, and that's almost viewed as a positive thing. And with religion comes all these other biases, you know, against like women's rights, and then you've got, you know, homophobia and like, you know, all these crazy things. Like, you know, with Santa Claus, you don't have like, oh, but Santa Claus is also racist. So
To be honest with you, Santa kills like bad
And Santa
children.
doesn't give any presents to the little black kids.
They were busy stealing from good white children.
Yeah, I mean, it's not inculcating them with all kinds of fucked up side beliefs, you know?
Yeah.
So thank you for your call, Christopher. I think we're going to move on to another call. We really appreciate having you on.
You know, strangely enough, I did learn not too long ago that there was actually, in hundreds of years ago in European Christmas traditions, there was a demon that would follow Santa Claus around named Krampus.
Yeah, actually, the only reason I know that is because apparently Kevin Smith is making a movie about the Krampus.
They also did it.
That's awesome.
Seth MacFarlane did it as well.
I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah. They still celebrate it in some of like the Alpine regions of Europe.
So I guess there is a bit of hellfire and brimstone in the Santa Claus story after all.
Yeah, they've cleaned it up.
they've sanitized it a bit for American
It's
ears.
a New Testament Santa now.
Yeah.
It's a kinder, gentler Santa.
Yeah, the old Santa's like, fuck you, bitch. You ain't good. A demon's gonna eat your little
Santa would
ass.
smite people in the Old Testament.
I guess he comes and he ties the children up and beats them with birch branches, and then
And he burns them too.
So far, TJ's like, this doesn't sound too bad. All right, so now we have
TJ, you sure are wacky.
You wacky, lovable little deviant scamp.
All right, so we'll find the next person. You're right. Skype does kind of suck. We need to find it.
Yeah, look at how you have to scroll through this immense list
Yeah.
just to get to people's names.
That search thing above isn't a search bar?
Yeah, it probably is. But it's like the setup here is so
To
weird.
do that, you need a keyboard and shit. Who wants to fuck around with that?
What the hell?
It's not conducive to our podcast, damn it. Skype should have designed this with our podcast in mind.
Exactly.
They're selfish.
All right, so here comes our next caller.
Here comes our next caller. Maybe.
Possibly.
If they answer.
Potentially.
Hello? Hello.
Hello.
You're on, and by the way, you're a potential terrorist.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. What's your question?
Appreciate it. Well, my question is, I've never seen a video about this topic, so I was really curious to what do you think of...
Turn your computer down so that it's not echoing a little bit, please.
Yeah, sorry.
If you have to push to talk to, hold it down, too.
Are you there?
Yes, sorry. I was watching Aquatine Hunger Force in the background. Well, anyway, what I was asking was, what do you think about anarchism and its subsidiary ideals and beliefs and stuff like that? And also, what do you think about social libertarianism and basically the left side of the political atmosphere? Like, what do you think about it?
Like, you're talking about, like, the far left, right?
Yes.
Like, you know, like people who
like
are
Noam Chomsky and
like
stuff like
the Noam
that.
Chomskys and, you know, Howard Zinns and stuff of the world.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, I would honestly consider myself to be more among those kinds of thinkers than I would any sort of mainstream Democrat. Not that I compare myself to them intellectually, but I mean my positions probably reflect their attitudes a lot more closely than they do anyone in mainstream politics. So that's my personal thing. It really, I kind of, you know, adopt it, I guess. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone else here, though.
Anybody?
Anyone? Anyone?
I'm thinking about Tarantino. Yeah.
What about Tarantino?
He sued some people, but I guess to answer the question, he said anarchism. I mean, that's.
I think he means like. Well, I mean,
basically social libertarianism. It's kind of the same thing almost.
Well, as far as the social part of it, it's not that far from, any kind of liberal, way of thinking whenever it comes to social rights. I mean, they're pretty open with that kind of stuff, but they have like a really kind of weird way of thinking about economy and free markets and stuff.
To me, any philosophy that has a variation of anarchism doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because I just don't see how you can form any sort of structure and yet lack a government. I don't understand. I mean, like, if
at some point somebody would take over.
Like, at best, these social, like these modified anarchisms, like anarcho-capitalism or anarcho-capitalism, anarcho-libertarianism, all these ideas. I mean, basically, what they're really suggesting is that the people themselves, form the pieces of the government, which I guess is a furtherance of an American ideal to an extent. But I just don't know that that's something that would work. It just seems like a big social experiment. I don't know that's something. I mean, if something like that was going to happen, I think it would have to occur naturally due to changing factors in society. I don't think it's something that we could impose or enforce through by human design.
I think you have to have a lot of faith in people to think that something like that would work, and I just don't.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there.
It occurred once in the 1930s, and I believe in the Spanish. The Spanish actually constructed a anarchist society, but it only lasted for 6 years.
Yeah, I mean
before, communism. Well, not communism, but communists like Stalin and the people like that basically killed the leaders of that whole regime.
I think that's an interesting point. You're saying, oh, well, they were killed, but I mean, these are all just political ideas and ideologies, and one ideology killing another one is not surprising, nor is it to say, oh, well, that's wrong. I mean, or why did that happen?
Well, I think we're going to move on to another question, but thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Shannon.
This is...
What happened? What's going on here?
Oh,
so,
nothing.
Jaclyn, why don't you share your thoughts about Quentin Tarantino with us?
Well, sorry, somebody asked me about it, so I was responding. But I don't know, like just different movies that you liked. I recently saw Django, which I thought was pretty hilarious. But my favorite one is Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, I would say I'd side with you on there. I mean, I like pretty much all of Quentin Tarantino's movies.
Did you know he's no longer making the movie you told me about?
Yeah, the Crazy Eight.
Yeah,
he's
Walker
not making it
leaked
because the script leaked.
Yeah,
that annoys me. I don't know whose side I take with that, because I mean, I can understand it sucking that your script leaked, but I can't understand deciding not to do the movie on that basis.
But I mean, he was one of the few people that was like, we need to keep 35mm around. So I mean, he's kind of
eccentric.
He's almost a product of a different time now.
Now we have a special surprise for everyone. Jaclyn, you're about to meet one of TJ's biggest fans.
Oh my God! Why do you have to say it like that?
This is a guy that makes videos of TJ fucking things.
TJ fucks things.
Hey, TJ fucks things. Welcome.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Good.
Have you and TJ Drink Soda had sex yet?
Yeah, yeah.
You did. That's fantastic.
It's amazing.
We're happy for you guys.
Now, do you have any questions for Jaclyn or I or Ben or Scotty or anyone in existence?
I did ask some questions, actually. I forget what they were. Let me just see. Oh, yeah, it was, would you identify yourself as a social anarchist, which is basically
that's just a retread of what we were just talking about. What else you got?
Well, actually, no. Social anarchist is it's not like physical anarchist, like a political ideology.
Uh-huh.
Basically, it's like, so say you'd be a liberal, right? Like, because you're a liberal, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, cool. So, basically, so you'd be a liberal, but, like, you know how, like, lots of, like, liberals or Democrats kind of worship their like whoever they are voting for, like like
No.
Obama's, like
No.
you know how Democrats like worship.
No, I mean,
what is happening here?
I think
What are you saying?
I think Democrats like very begrudgingly accept Obama as like, man, I guess this is the best we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I really don't think that most people. I mean, maybe there is a very like insular base segment of the Democratic Party that's like that.
You're Canadian, right? TJ fucks
Yeah.
things. Okay.
Yeah.
You damn Canucks don't know nothing. Go back to your maple syrup.
I will.
Good.
So
But, sorry.
No, it's all right. Did you have another question or anything like that?
My other question was like, what do you think of like sort of the new internet communists, like say Jason Unruh or whatever the fuck?
I've never heard of that person before.
Neither have I.
No one knows who that
actually,
is.
Jason Unruh was the guy who he's that communist guy who made a video responding to you, which you shared on your Facebook. It's the feminist thing.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So I don't think you know a lot about
No.
the internet.
TJ,
communists.
explain who this guy is. Is it interesting or is it just?
No, he's just really. I made this video about how. Oh my, this is such a long story, and it's really not. I mean, well, basically, there was a feminist article online that said that all vaginal intercourse, no matter what the circumstance, is rape.
Okay.
And I basically made a TJ Does Life video mocking the blog where that argument is made. Just basically being indignant and, explaining why it just annoys me and bothers me.
Gynecologists are now rapists.
And, and anyway, so this guy who is a big internet communist puts out a video about how because I made that video, I'm insensitive and don't understand the feminist struggle, and
You're an idiot.
basically he stops shy of saying that all vaginal intercourse is rape, but he basically said that it's rape under like 99% of circumstances.
Let me just say that girls like that. Just throwing that out there.
Actually, in his defense, he said a lot of it, so I don't know if the number would be like 99.
Well, that's what I
stable.
gathered based on the stuff he was saying. But
yeah, he also did a second video, but whatever.
There's a whole article up about there. I think like that maybe he took part of his video idea from, because I read a whole thing about, they call it PIV, or penis and vagina, and all PIV is rape, and that's like the stance that this article took. So it's like a pretty popular feminist belief that any penis and vagina is just rape and that's it, which I disagree. I was joking with my.
So we're basically a society of all men are rapists.
So that just throws like even just the basic idea of procreation
is rape. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to my friend about it, and she's like, "Oh, I guess I must like being raped then."
Yeah, I actually saw a funny comment.
It's kind of funny in a way, but it's also kind of disgusting to equate that with rape, because if anything, it just makes rape seem like a joke, which is something that feminists hate when you joke about rape. But I mean, if they're going to broaden the definition to the point where it literally can be joked about, then how can they possibly complain?
You may be
like, how dare you call that rape when somebody is actually forcefully raped whenever you're having sex and having fun, and like calling it the same thing is bullshit.
And also, I despise the misogyny of the notion that women can't decide for themselves what their vaginas should be doing at any given time.
Yeah, I like when this like communist guy pretends to be a like a feminist fucking like advocate, but really he's the fucking sexist, because he's making the argument that like women can't, like, basically like the outside source, like an outside source in the whatever the fuck, the superstructure determines their choice to consent to sex. He's the real fucking sexist.
It's the typical argument of the feminists that women are stupid and are just controlled like puppets of society with no ability for independent thought.
Dance.
Yeah,
and it's it's really like, that's why I consider feminism to be like the most misogynistic thing around, at least most incarnations of it. The modern Tumblr variant of feminism.
Feminism doesn't even agree with the other factions of feminism, so this is so many layers to this argument.
Yeah, and there's so many different ideologies walking around calling themselves feminism that it's hard to, make any sort of criticism without it applying. Nothing's going to apply across the board. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, you know that Jason Unruh guy, the feminist. He's like a Stalin worshiper, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I saw that. I saw his little Soviet flag on his channel and all that.
Yeah.
Because the Soviet Union was so awesome.
Yeah, it was so great, and that's why it's still around to this day.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, the Soviet Union and all sex is rape, basically.
Yeah.
But Soviet Union was awesome, and all vaginal sex is a form of rape.
Yeah, he makes the argument that like Stalin didn't kill the 50 million people, which well, I mean, obviously he killed. I kind of agree and I kind of disagree with that notion because I think Stalin killed a lot of people, which could be in the millions, but I don't think it's a ridiculous number like 50 million. Just because I've heard different figures that don't really make sense. So.
Speaking in your capacity as a renowned historian. All right.
Yes.
You know what? But before we let him go, I do want to know: do you have any new videos coming out soon? And who will be co-starring in these videos?
Episode 7 is being worked on, but my computer is being a piece of shit, so it's going to be delayed. So.
What am I fucking this time?
Kim Jong Un. So
Kim Jong Un.
That's
okay.
pretty cool. So
thank you.
We look forward to your next video.
Is Dennis Rodman going to be sitting there watching?
Yeah, he will. Also, I wanted to say, Scotty, you're a fucking piece of shit. You know that?
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
All right. Goodbye.
Go drink
TJ
some more
Foxman.
maple syrup and poutine.
What the hell was that?
He's a troll.
Yeah,
we just let him on
I
for
fuck
fun.
with him all the time and call him a piece of shit and tell him he needs to die. So it's a fun rivalry.
Oh, okay.
We're fast friends.
It's a hate love hate relationship.
Yeah, he makes videos of. He made a video of TJ fucking Dusty.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I feel kind of left out.
Don't give him any ideas.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Don't give him
There's
the permission.
there's crazy shit on the internet about me already. It's not like
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen?
there's a Tumblr account I think called JaclynGlenn Should Do Porn, and it's like really bad Photoshop pictures of my head on naked girls.
Oh really? Let's
Yeah. Oh, and there's also a Instagram account called JaclynGlenn's Teeth, where it's just people cropping my teeth, and like that's the picture.
Wow. I thought I was the only one that had to deal with that kind of stupid shit. But I'm glad that I'm not alone. What is going on with the sound? I keep hearing weird modulations. Am I the only one getting that?
Yeah, I don't hear that.
Okay, cool.
Is this the person you wanted me to call right here?
I guess.
I want to make a sock account now.
That's the person
that
from
TJ
Kuwait.
loves balloons. TJ, I'm doing
Wahad
that.
something.
We're gonna do TJ loves
I
balloons.
thought it would be interesting to talk to someone from Kuwait if they really are from Kuwait.
You don't think they're from Kuwait though?
Probably not, but if on the off chance they are.
Okay. Did they ask a question?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't remember what it was, but
we'll see.
I think it was something condescending. So.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Maybe.
Here we go.
Is it Wahab?
I don't want to pretend to know.
Wahab. Come on, Wahab.
Going once.
Give him a second. Give him a second.
Going twice.
All right, we'll count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let him go.
All right. So.
All right, Jaclyn.
Yes.
What is there any other sock accounts besides JaclynGlenn's Teeth?
There's the teeth one, there's the should do porn one, and that's all I know about at the moment, but there's all kinds of crazy weird things out there.
I'm sure
like 20 or 30.
I'm sure that unfortunately now that you mentioned it on the show, new people will come up with new ideas.
It's all I really don't care. I don't know why people think like
Someone's
once
gonna
you're
go
on YouTube.
Someone's gonna go do like JaclynGlenn eats SpaghettiOs.
Oh God, please don't.
And they're just gonna Photoshop you eating SpaghettiOs over and over again.
Yeah, somebody, whenever I was doing a Google Hangout one time, and someone screenshot, because like some guy played some really gross clip, and there was a picture of me like making an OMG face, and they took a screenshot of my mouth open and like photoshopped all kinds of weird shit coming out of my mouth, going into my mouth. It doesn't matter to me. Like, I mean, once you're on YouTube, you've seen it all after a while, so it's like nothing really is going to surprise me at this point. It's pretty much just entertainment.
Yeah, it just becomes old hat. Let me see. I have TJ drinks soda, TJ eats grapes, TJ fucks things. Then I have a bunch of accounts like The Unamazing Atheist and various shit like that.
Oh, yeah, that's always fun.
Now there's
entertainment.
TJ
Hey,
now there's TJ gets fucked by things, but that's your own fault that one exists.
Yeah, because I mentioned it in passing that it might exist, therefore someone had to make it.
I want there to be a TJ loves balloons, and just you like hugging and kissing balloons.
That's awesome.
Yeah, all right. Someone make it. Do it. We can't do one of Ben because no one even knows what he looks like.
Yeah.
Ben is a man of mischief.
Not even TJ.
People should just draw their pictures of what they think Ben looks like.
Ben actually wears a burqa in the studio. We don't know what he looks like. And, and there's like a screen dividing us all.
Whoisben.com. Put up like pictures of like the Unabomber sketch.
Actually,
Ben?
That is exactly what I look like.
Yeah,
the Unabomber.
He looks like the Unabomber.
So do you want to call one of these people randomly or something?
Let's call Jaclyn. What you decide what we do? Do we keep calling people?
Yeah, let's keep calling people.
You want to call people at random? We don't have good questions at this point. We're just going to call random people and
see what happens.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
This will work out well.
This is going to be good.
It has in the past. I feel confident.
This always has a positive effect.
Yeah, let's see here. We will do.
Let's do something.
Cocaine.
Cocaine would be good. Cocaine.
It's like my default cocaine.
Cocaine.
Heroin's my drug, so. Meth.
Shit.
We doing cocaine.
I'll do both.
Let's do.
She just like equal.
I mix my meth and cocaine and heroin together.
That's awesome.
In a big pot.
Dude, the best thing I saw was the show Gangland. They had the black guys like, man, you take the weed, and then you take the crack.
Here we go. This is Spaceman. Hey, Spaceman.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back
Man,
on.
are you
Hey, Spaceman.
Spaceman, are you high?
You ain't from around these parts, are you, boy?
I can't say I am.
What's up, Spaceman?
Nothing. Just want to ask some questions again.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, also, hi, Jaclyn.
Hi.
How nice of you to acknowledge, Jaclyn.
Hi. How you doing?
Hello.
I have a friend.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. We don't believe the story already.
Liar.
Okay. I have an enemy who hates the shit out of you, TJ, and all your videos and shit.
That's awesome.
And I was wondering if you would like to have him on as a after you do all the news and shit. Just argue with you, because
he hates me.
Yeah.
Why
does he what he can bring to the table?
Does he hate me because he disagrees with me, or does he hate me just on principle? Like,
It's the
I just
banana.
hate that guy.
It's the banana thing. That's why I hate him.
Well, I actually use that against you. What's the banana thing?
Well,
that's a different story.
What is the basis of his hatred, though?
It kind of reminds me of what the feminists. All right, so he said he disliked you before, but once you released that video about high school, he said he hated you. After the high school video where you said high school sucks.
TJ, I think this man is sexually repressed and now wants to have sex with you to overcome his sexual repression.
It sounds like your friend has a typical case of having a man crush that he can't get requited.
What was his real problem with the high school video?
Yeah, that seems like a video that's a strange video to push
Almost
someone over the
innocuous
edge.
It's a pretty passive video compared to a lot of his other ones.
It's such a dry, straightforward video with so little controversial about it.
I think a bunch of us do and hate. Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't know. I guess it's just because we're both high schoolers.
And
when we're in high school, we had an argument about this today because we were taking a history test. And I was like, this is the kind of stuff he was talking about. It's just root memorization. There's no critical thinking involved. It's just memorize this stuff. It happened then, and that's the answers to the questions. And he's like, what's wrong with that?
Oh, okay.
I think we see his problem.
Oh, he's an idiot. All right.
I'm an idiot.
I figured it out. I solved the mystery.
Oh, what makes sense
It
now?
didn't even take me the 30 minutes that it would have taken in the Scooby-Doo gang.
Jinkies.
And we weren't chased by any guys in monster costumes, so.
So I was wondering if you guys would like, in one of your future podcasts, to have him on.
Yeah, sure. Fucking let's hate him in person.
I'd like to see
That's
it.
great.
Yeah, get him on.
Let's serve him some hate and
What else you got,
discontent.
buddy? Spaceman. You got any other questions?
Spaceman.
Not related
Well,
to your
this one
douchebag
actually kind
friends.
of relates to space.
All right. Yeah, that sounds
TJ
fun.
And everyone, I know you kind of or not kind of like, I know you're very interested in like the cosmos and exploring space and all that, because like we're putting too much into this rock that we live on here.
Yes.
So I was kind of wondering how you feel about like exploring the oceans and shit, because we haven't finished exploring the oceans, and I feel like it's a lot less important than the cosmos and the universe and stuff. But I feel like it is still important because we haven't explored it yet.
You're wrong, because the oceans are part of the cosmos, as is the entire Earth and everything else in existence. And I want us to understand everything that we possibly can. I mean, if I see any value or inherent worth in the human species, I think it's that we have the capacity to comprehend these things on a conscious level, whatever consciousness may be. You know, it's obvious that the universe by itself has no capacity for self-examination, so we are its introspection. And if we fail in that charge to learn new things, then we're just, you know, failing as a species. Oh my god, that's so fucking cute.
It's so deep.
Okay.
Ben is making his dog dance, and it's
She was
cute.
doing the Macarena, or she was, excuse me.
which is yet another new thing that I had never seen before.
Yeah. I do have a dog that is insanely cute.
Ben's dog is like, if you had the top 10 cutest dogs in the world, this dog makes them look like shit in comparison.
What type of dog is he?
Chihuahua.
Well, maybe not all Chihuahua.
And she
but
actually has a concealed carry permit. She does carry a gun.
Sorry to change the subject, though.
The way that
yeah,
the way her hair is just crazy. But what were we talking
I think
about?
we agree with TJ.
Everyone
I mean,
agrees with me
yeah.
because I'm right. So.
Well, not for that reason, but we just agree with what you said.
Yeah. No, I'm right.
Yeah, whatever.
It actually wasn't the truth until I said it.
I won't agree with it just because it's you. Was anyone
It
else
became
I would just
law.
Bye, Spaceman.
See you later, guys.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, I thought Ben had already hung up on you, but I was actually just doing something
It's
else.
like, oh,
No,
he's still
no.
here.
I was just looking for someone else to call.
You're like, fuck Spaceman, he's boring. Let's kill him.
Spaceman, why did you do this to me?
Okay.
Let's kill
That
him,
was
and then
fun.
Jaclyn will rape his corpse.
Yes, I will rape him via
That's how Jaclyn.
I will rape your cause.
Jaclyn
PIV.
Jaclyn gets her power by raping corpses. Isn't that right, Jaclyn?
But actually, since the penis is going in my vagina, I'm the one being raped.
Oh, shit.
So legally,
Yeah.
she's being raped still. Even
This
though-
corpse is a rapist.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you rape me now.
Does that mean does the penis and vagina thing mean that every time a woman masturbates with a dildo, that is like dildo is raping her?
That's almost
The
like
dildo, yeah, the dildo's raping
It's a
her, and then a
rapist.
woman can never rape a guy because then she's still getting raped at the end of the day, you know?
Wow,
So.
it's amazing how that works. All right, we're calling another person.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. This is Nick Hartman. Oh wait, I'm not supposed to say the last names.
Yeah.
Never mind. His name is Nick.
Asshole.
I meant Nick.
Asshole alert.
I meant Nick Smith.
What's going on?
Hey Nick. What is going on?
What it is, G?
I don't know. It's just kind of boring around here. Thought I would see what's up.
You thought you were doing cocaine? Are you doing
Thought
cocaine?
you'd see what's up, huh?
Okay. Yeah, so do you have a question?
I guess I do, yeah.
You guess you do. Okay.
Go ahead.
Does your question involve cocaine?
So, I have this weird urge for some reason to kind of be different. So I'm trying to do this essay for my language arts class about religion and how it's, basically pointless. And, obviously it's better to use logic. And I was wondering what your thoughts were on some key points I should make with that.
Wait, okay, so what class is this for again? Language arts, but like what level?
It's honors language arts 11, so I can read basically.
Are you high school?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't piss off your teacher, they will fail you. Be very careful.
There's actually a song.
Because this happened to be the other. Somebody sent me a long email the other day. This girl, she was writing an essay for her high school class, and she did a really great job. And it would have made for a great YouTube rant, but it was so harsh that the teacher gave her an F just because she was like, religion, which is obviously false, and then continued to make her point. And like she got a bad grade. So I don't want you to sacrifice, your grade.
Yeah, for sure.
So make sure that you're delicate when you make your points.
Yeah, I mean, I can be kind of, delicate, like you said.
I think there's some great advice to be said here. And there's a song by Corporate Avengers. It's called "The Bible is Bullshit, the Quran is a Lie, the Bhagavad Gita did not fall from the sky." And you just need to go copy the lyrics to that and turn it in, and say, "This is my summation on religion." Because you are still a teenager, so you can just write it off as you have mental problems if they fail you or something. Like, I'm stressed, I have anxiety, I need Xanax, everything's gonna be fine.
Yeah. But I mean, it's so weird at my school because these people that I went to elementary school with, I used to be a Christian, but now I'm kind of more of an open atheist. And these guys I went to elementary school with, this guy did a PowerPoint about this religion stuff. And after he was done, I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? Don't you, think at all? Seriously, think about what you're saying. And then he's like, oh, you atheist motherfucker, It's you don't, go to church. You don't even read the Bible, and you consider yourself Christian. So, look at yourself before you, call me this stupid-ass motherfucker,
Well, yeah. He just sounds like an ignorant asshole. There's not much you can do about those people in the world.
Well, good luck with your essay, man. We all wish you the best.
Smoke pain
remember,
every day.
If you want to get a good grade, you might want to follow Jaclyn's advice.
Yeah.
No, he needs to follow my advice. Her advice was too sensible.
Smoke weed every day.
Yes.
Do we have anyone else?
I mean, we have tons of other people. There's let's see.
We'll call one more.
All right. Yeah.
One more person.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Yeah. Fuck it. There's no words there. Oh, this guy wants to talk about getting a vasectomy or something. I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna skip that one.
TJ wants a vasectomy too.
I want a vasectomy. Wait, what?
We give our pets, vasectomies pretty much. We just stop them from breeding. It's no big deal.
I have never gotten a girl pregnant, so I think I'm good to go. I don't need one.
That's good.
Yeah.
So should I just call someone that's random?
Just call a random person. If they don't answer, they don't answer.
Fate. Call some random person. If they
the
don't
wheel
answer.
of fate will decide.
Okay, this person I think has an interesting question.
Let's go.
Yeah. Let's see.
Bring them on.
All right.
Bring them on. I can only do one more of those. Sorry. It's a peanut butter cookie.
It's a massive peanut butter cookie
with an Oreo inside.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God, that sounds disgusting. Sorry.
It's not.
She's like, oh God,
it's not.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh God.
All right, here comes the next person.
I think TJ would have sex with Oreos if he could.
Hello, what's your question?
I was just wondering why the fuck America is so heartless. these
Explain.
days. Well, you had this story with a kid that's facing life in prison. He's only like 11 when he did the crime. You have rampant homelessness. I work a little bit with the homeless, and I see how they're treated. They tell me how they're treated. And I just see us as increasingly heartless. What do you guys think about that?
Well, first of all, why don't you tell me a story about a homeless person has told you about their treatment, that we can kind of have an idea of where you're coming from.
Well, I took this guy I met at the university out to, I think it was Burger King. We sat down, we talked, and he told me that everyone else he had asked, either completely ignored him or, told him to fuck off or, just in general treated him like shit. And he was really grateful to me. He was surprised almost that someone helped him out. So that's a story. It's kind of short, but
I think that maybe capitalism is to blame to an extent. It's like this idea that we're all in competition to see who can accrue the most wealth and material resources, so the people who don't have that at all are just automatically looked down upon as though it must be through some defect of their character that they arrived in that position.
So basically
But I mean,
it'll never happen to me syndrome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, people live in a bubble. I mean, there's terrible things that go on all around the world, and no one cares or thinks about it. I think people just try to pretend like the bad shit doesn't exist, and that's it.
To a certain extent, the fact that we're all so interconnected now, it's like we read about tragic things happening literally every day, or hear about them happening every day. So it gets to the point where it's like, how can you even really bring yourself to continuously feel, the empathy for every single person?
Plus we have an age of distraction. It's like there's so many applications. Like, oh, let's go on the computer. Let's look at this. Let's look at that.
And then there's also the things that are actually covered on the news are, Justin Bieber was driving his Lamborghini too fast.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
the problem is not, rampant, the problem is not that people are starving. The problem is not that people are not economically represented. The problem is not that, certain groups of people still don't have basic human rights. The real problem is that Justin Bieber's a little shithead.
Yeah.
That's the big issue.
I don't know. I think it's more than just living in a bubble too. Even though we don't see enough stuff on the news, like, you said that most of the news is about Justin Bieber and stuff. But I mean, even if something happens right in front of somebody's face, like we were talking about before, the guy with the heart attack and no one helped him. I just think that people just don't, they don't care. Or like, even if they see it happening to somebody right in front of them, it's not them.
People still have to develop the same
they
social
detach
skills.
it. It's like they're watching a movie. It's like they're not even there in real life. They're just so detached from the world.
Another thing is that in America specifically, like, you can get, you see someone like, dying, you give them CPR, they might sue you because they had, this.
They can't. Good Samaritan, they can't sue you.
Not all states have those.
Not all states have those laws, though.
No way. You can't give somebody CPR?
Not if they don't want it. If they have.
But if they're passed out,
people have. If people have a do not resuscitate
capacity,
order.
Yeah, if you're in official capacity, like you're a paramedic, you're a firefighter, then they're protected. But in some states, unless like you ask like someone or there's some sort of consent or something, sometimes you can actually be prosecuted or even sued for. Like,
I want to point out too that there was actually, and this was a pretty big story, but I want to remind everyone that there was a few years ago in China where, like, a small child was hit by a car, or just run over by a car, and then several other people just drove right over the child, and people walked by it, took pictures of it. Finally, someone helped the girl, and actually the person who helped the girl was ostracized in their community because they thought that she only helped the girl because because she wanted to seem better than everyone else around her. So actually, she was punished for being a good Samaritan and looked down upon by everyone around her.
That kind of plays into something I was about to say as well. People are seemingly actually more malicious even than just apathetic. I mean, you played the bit about the friends of the mother that was killed saying that this child, deserves to go to jail for life. And there's stories very similar to it where people and the internet's a nasty place, it's not surprising, but
I mean,
even on Facebook where their identities are known, they're like
the internet's the internet's a nasty place because people are nasty, though. I mean, it's not like the internet created it.
Yeah, it's the anonymity of the internet too, being able to say things and normally say them with complete anonymity.
Yeah, you have a forum to, be like, fuck you, you're a piece of shit, eat shit and die, and, there's no real consequence. You're not looking the person in the eye, you're not actually interacting with them, you're just leaving this comment and then going on with your business or your life, whatever.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to paint a full picture of why people are the way they are, but, like, we're really dealing with, some of the deepest flaws of human nature that have plagued people's thoughts for generations.
Well, and the point you made about capitalism, too, it's like in a capitalist society, it's like these people are losers, so they didn't work hard enough. They didn't go to school. They have some sort of defect. So
we need that. We need that Herman Cain clip here.
Oh yeah,
yeah. We have a clip that fits this perfectly for once.
Yeah.
If you don't have a job and you're not rich, blame yourself.
I think that's pretty disgusting. I think.
Yeah, I know. We need to.
I don't have facts to back this up.
Same guy that was in favor of. It was the head of the National Restaurant Association. It was like, okay, minimum wage is being raised is fine, but all tipped workers can only make $2.13 an hour. So he's the same guy.
Yeah. Well,
thanks, Evil Duck, for your question and whatever the hell you're doing in the background there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
He's like, oh, that was such a good answer. He really liked our answers.
I guess so.
He was jerking
People are
off
assholes, though.
furiously. Yeah, I don't know why.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, even like, and it's almost like looked down upon, like you said, if you do care about things. I'm sure you get it all the time, TJ. Like, people are like, why do you make videos on religion? If you're an atheist, why do you care about God so much? And, like,
Yeah,
then, of course, the typical answer is like, well, because religion has all
I
these different
guess
problems.
it really just boils down to, like, you know how the cool kid in high school is the person who's like most aloof and doesn't give a shit. I guess that's just how it is throughout life. Like, oh, you care about things? What a piece of fucking garbage.
Yeah, doesn't it make you sad thinking about all the shit that goes on? Why do you talk about it all the time? Why don't you, I get this a lot, why don't you just make videos about makeup or clothes? It's like, cause I don't give a shit, you know? I don't know.
Wow, people really say that?
Oh, yeah.
That's
Why
Just
don't you
get back
do
in the
makeup
kitchen and make a
tutorials?
sandwich. God.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, why don't you make your next video about the makeup you have on that day? It's like, great, that'll make me happy.
TJ, you should make a video about your clothes, TJ. This is a shirt I found
Live this
somewhere.
intellectually vacuous existence. That'll be good.
TJ, I want you to make that video now where you describe like your morning routine and like how you get prepared for the
This
day.
guy has.
You should do a makeup video where you just stab yourself in the eye with
This is
a...
what's in my purse.
You should just stab yourself in the eye with one of those mascara things and be like, this is how I get ready in the morning. Rah!
Do you want to
bleed everywhere?
Do you want to do one more?
Not really, but we
Oh.
can.
Well, no. If you don't want to do them, I'm fine.
I'll let Jaclyn decide. What do you want to do, Jackie?
You're putting her on the spot.
I don't care.
You have to decide. You're the decider.
You're the decider.
Damn it, I hate making decisions. Fine, let's take one more.
All right.
So I don't
All
want to be
right.
mean.
Y'all know you're not being mean at all. That's fine.
You're fucking so mean.
She was mean to us, TJ.
Let's see. If this person doesn't answer, though, this is the last attempt here. All right. Here we go. This person had a really complex question.
That's
God,
always
so-
good.
Sorry.
It better be complex. If he answers, which he's not. Answer!
Answer your phone, we will kill you.
Answer your fucking phone.
What's wrong with you?
Piece of fucking trash.
Get to the chopper. All right. No, he's not going to answer, so I think we're done.
We're done with the show, Jaclyn. You can leave now.
Thank you so much for being on. It was great.
I'm gonna put some. I'm gonna unlock the restraints.
Unlock the restraint. That's kind of you, TJ.
Smoke Pan was
Oh, I
writing
had
something
fun.
a second ago.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was great to have you
Yeah,
on.
thanks for being on.
Thanks, Jaclyn.
Yeah, it was fun.
We appreciate
Hanging
it.
out. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Alrighty.
So yeah, we're about to finish up here. We do want to let everyone know that next week we're going to change our schedule a little bit.
Yes.
We're going to be on.
We're gonna be on Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday, yes.
Right. And also, as some of you may know, yesterday we did a show that we went 3.5 hours, and YouTube only posted the first 57 minutes. I know it's a long shot, but if anyone out there perhaps recorded that show, we would appreciate it if you could hook us up with that. I know that's probably not going to manifest, but, you know, I'd kick myself if I didn't at least try. And yes, once again, the Drunken Peasants will be back this Wednesday and Thursday. We will not be doing our normal Thursday, Friday slot next week.
Just say now to drugs.
Just say now.
Oh, and subscribe to this channel if you are not subscribed.
Yeah.
Because
Be sure to subscribe to the Drunken Peasants.
then you can see more of our stupidity.
Have sex with the Drunken
And possibly
Peasants.
even, hear it live.
Yep. So good night and see you guys on Wednesday.
Good night and good luck.
And Godspeed.
God bless you and God bless America.